Well, here we are, less than 48 hours away from Super Bowl 57 to kick off, and we're about to record and give our predictions and cover why we feel the way we feel. I'm joined with the team. Bree, Nikki, June is taking care of some stuff. Hopefully, hops in, and my
That's
son
what
is
I want to do to you.
a guest appearance here. I don't know what he's doing in the background, but anyway, Nikki, how are you feeling? Jesus.
Listen, I am so excited that even if it's just for the last time this season, we about to see another football game until a couple of months. I am excited. I am good. Blessed and highly favored. Hopefully I'll get home so y'all can see that I got the gear on, representing for that good Duval County, Duval, Jacksonville, Jaguars. I'm excited. Let's go.
Bree.
Yes.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, that was so damn bland, Bree. Come on, give us some pepper.
I'm good. How are you? Yo, real fast. Frankie, be a Frankie or in this group chat from my fantasy football league. Yo, yesterday they had me dying with these NFL deadline trades. And there, oh my God, I've never laughed so hard at work, and all my coworkers are looking at me like, what the fuck is funny? And I'm like, yo, like, you can't have all niggas in one group chat because they gonna get ignorant. But I'm doing good. Toby wants me to pick him up.
Son, how are you? What's going on?
Son, how are you, son?
All right, I got him with
child and offspring of mine.
Yeah, right. my only male child. What's up, Frankie? What's going on?
Right.
Frank, we can't hear you, bro. We can't hear you. I don't know what you did.
We can't hear you again.
No. Okay, okay, now you can hear me, right? Now I meant to say, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited and everything, and I got to root for the Eagles this year because
we haven't got there yet, bro. We just doing an introduction.
But like I'm saying, you feel me? It's like, all right.
And don't be like our buddy that be halfway off the camera. You got to be in the, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Don't be like Ben.
Yeah,
right here with y'all.
Don't be like.
But no,
don't want it on. We want to be.
Oh, hold on. I got you. Hold on. Uzi.
Put it back on.
Okay, no bonding. There we
go. Oh.
We lost Nikki. She be back on.
Yes.
Because she's driving. You know how she do
it. Real quick, I know this is an NFL podcast, but my 2 cents is the most disrespectful trade that's happened was. Oh wait,
which one?
Okay. The most disrespectful trade was Pat Bev to Orlando Magic and.
Oh yeah, bro. Yo, that joint was crazy.
And Mo Bamba to the Lakers. Not Mo Bamba to the Lakers is okay, but Pat Bev to the Orlando Magic. Oh,
that joint was wild. And it's, bro, did you see the tweet that he put out? He said the gang is back together, and then 10 hours later they traded
10 hours later. Yep, tweeted.
Mm-hmm. Gang
is
back
said,
together.
Not today, buddy.
They tell you that's how much teams don't care.
It's a business at the end of the day, and we forget that until it comes down to business time.
Now, the difference is when it comes to the NBA and the NFL is the NFL, you know what team you're going to get traded to because you guys are already in trade negotiation talks.
Of course.
The NBA, you could be sleeping, you wake up, and you look on Twitter, and your ass got traded to another team.
Bro, like, KD got traded at 12 a.m.
They don't give you no warning at all.
It's
no warning at all.
So, Bree, I'm looking at the list here. You want to save the predictions for the end?
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead. You kick it off with the first topic.
So yesterday was the NFL honors and our winners for the NFL Honors Awards. So we had Offensive Rookie of the Year was Garrett Wilson from the New York Jets. Our Defensive Rookie of the Year was Sauce Gardner from the New York Jets. Our Comeback Player of the Year was Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks. Our Offensive Player of the Year was Jay Jettis from Minnesota Vikings. Our Defensive Player of the Year was Nick Bosa from the 49ers. Our coach of the year was Brian Dable from the New York Giants. Our assistant coach of the year was DeMeco Ryans, assistant coach of the 49ers. Our MVP was Patrick Mahomes, and man of the year was Dak Prescott.
All right.
I watched the award show. It was nice. Kelly Clarkson was a good host. I like her as a
Yeah.
host. It kept it entertaining. How the NFL players were making their own lyrics to her songs. It was cheesy, but it was funny at the same time. And they also awarded the medical staff of the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cincinnati University Hospital medical staff. And we got to see. Sorry, Toby's doing some weird stuff. We got to see what happened. Mr. Hamlin come out and also thank them and thank everybody as well. So it was a good award show.
I mean, I like it. I have a issue with the MVP, and it's not because Mahomes won it. I just feel like if we're gonna give it to a quarterback every year, then just change it from MVP to the best quarterback in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's, and I only say that. I think we discussed this on a podcast, and somebody said, well, the quarterback's got to throw the ball to the receiver, so without the quarterback, the receiver wouldn't have the yards. Okay, that's fair, but some of them catches that one catch they gave Justin Jefferson Player of the Year for, some of these receivers make the quarterback great too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When the quarterback's under duress and he throws the ball and he's throwing it and they just go up and getting it between two defenders or making one-handed grabs or them toe taps at the sideline, you know, their toes are inbound and half their body's already outbounds or they trying to get the ball. Or defensive players like, you know, Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons,
Shoot.
too, out there that can change the game. You know what I'm saying? That can really wreak havoc in a game, and you go straight to Patrick Mahomes because they're the number one seed. He threw for 5,600 yards.
It was one of them things where it's like the obvious choice. Like I seen somebody say one time how Peyton Manning, some of his MVPs are like filler MVPs because of the years that he won them. They're just like your average Peyton Manning stats, right? And like sometimes on a year like this, I would say like, you know, okay, like, you know, it's let's give it to like the person who has like the objectively best stats in the year where it was like, all right, this is a kind of a weird year in the NFL. But like even then what you said, Dad, like, all right, how people be saying, all right, cool, you know, like the quarterback throws the receiver the ball, so then what should call it? That's fair, right? But even then, how are we gonna say that in the same sense of also saying how, like, when we praised DeAndre Hopkins when he was with the Texans, 10 different quarterbacks, and he's still putting up great numbers like this. So I mean, the quarterback really doesn't define the wide receiver. The wide receiver defines themselves with the way how they go out on the field every single, you know, Sunday, on Thursday, Monday, and then really puts their body on the line to make those catches, to make those grabs, get that yardage. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is throwing it to. If you have a receiver like Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, who was a triple crown wide receiver last season and was up for MVP, you know, DeAndre Hopkins, like if we talking about these names, we're gonna give him the credit, but then also kind of backhand them at the same time with the quarterback saying, "Oh, but the quarterback's throwing them the ball." Like, come on now. So then, what are we praising them for? Like, honestly, what are we praising the wide receivers for? You know, like don't do that to them. Don't give them praise that they deserve, and then after that, backhand them after the fact. It just doesn't make sense. It's kind of mixy.
Yeah.
Well, I think my issue with that award is, especially when you want to give it to the quarterback, it's like the most valuable player to me is someone that if they're taken off, the team, like you feel the absence. You get what I'm saying? And for me with the quarterback, and granted, I understand the quarterback is the most important to people, most important thing, but like everyone has been saying, like sometimes these quarterbacks throws and it's very questionable, and it's the other person on the other side that makes the throw looks more than what it really is. So should they get rid of that award with the way or change the title?
I said change the title. Frankie brought up a good point. Peyton Manning got, I think, 5 NFL MVPs.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the years he wasn't the best quarterback. But because maybe they had the best record or they dominated or whatever, he got it. And he also and I hate to do this because we look at players, right? He always had 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers with him. At one point,
Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison.
Yep. And not to disclude because Peyton is a #1 draft pick. He is a Manning.
Like this is what he's supposed to do.
Exactly. That's what he's supposed to do. However, you have that. You have that, right? I think it's shortchanged. I agree with Nikki. If we, and I hate to do this because I'm not a thing, but when you look at the most valuable player, then look at the team they're playing. We saw what that Eagles team was like with Minshew in the center for 2 games, which they thought they can manage. We have enough talent. Our defense is that great that we can at least maybe win one of these 2 games, and they lost both of them. And the defense couldn't do anything to help because the offense wasn't producing. But then you bring him back in, and whether his, we'll get into this later, whether he was 100% or not, they still won. And in my opinion, whether defense helped or not, they have dominated the teams they've played in the divisional round and the NFC round, the championship round. They dominated. With Patrick Mahomes, we can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he beat up on the Jags, which it wasn't even beating up. Let's be honest. It came down to crucial turnovers at the worst time.
It really was.
The other team. But if you take those mistakes away, we could have been seeing a Bengals and Jaguars AFC championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You go to the AFC championship game, Mahomes, it wasn't his best game either. You know what I mean? But they won, and he's in Super Bowl. So I will.
It was the refs' best game.
I like the fact that Micah didn't get not 1 vote for Defensive Player of the Year. Not 1 vote.
Micah Parsons.
Not 1 vote.
And the crazy thing is, Ennis was saying that, like, it was like, oh, he might be the Defensive Player of the Year because it was really between Micah and Nick Bosa. That was really about it. And the fact that Micah didn't get not 1, they're like, oh yeah, but he's the runner-up and he got so many other votes. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't get not 1 first place vote.
Yeah,
not 1 first place vote.
To me, that's disrespectful. But anyways, I do agree. Kelly Clarkson was amazing. She was funny. Nikki,
her outfit was atrocious.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
But I
was just about to say her outfit.
Yeah, I think it was more of making fun of stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because she said at the beginning, I don't know anything about football. All I know is the Cowboys are America's team. That's why I'm wearing this because I only know about the Cowboys.
Yeah. She don't. So, but no, I think overall, I enjoyed it. I just started watching NFL Honors like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So when I watched them, it was interesting. It was fun. I like it. I love at the end how they do the people going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The Walter Payton Man of the Year award I think was good too. I don't know. It was a good time. What's up, Nikki?
Do you? Dak winning. I don't question it. I don't think I 1,000% agree with Dak. I think Dak's story is amazing. You know what I'm saying? From where you are, where you came from, to what motivated and push him. I think it's amazing. However, when you start to compare, and I'm not saying compare like with successes, but compare, and I only did it with last year's winner and Dak's winner. I mean Dak's this year, and it hurts me to say this. Last year's winner won off of really helping others, and and not saying Dak didn't, but Dak is his mom. Like, you know, I opened up the cancer thingy because of my mom. You know, I'm pushed because of the unfortunate suicide from my my brother, which is 1,000, a million, a trillion% great. But how about people that are doing something truly just because they want to help folks? They have no other motivation than the people that they're servicing. Your motivation was your mom. You know what I'm saying? So if your mom, which is unfortunate, if your mom didn't pass away from cancer, would you have opened up something that pushed for cancer? And that's the only thing I'm gonna say. I think when you compare, you know, I feel like Dak more won because of the circumstance, not really because of the actual push. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel bad for saying that, because regardless, doing good is doing good. But there's different levels of doing good. Like if I do good, if I do an organization because of African folks, that's near and dear, right? Instead of me doing an organization because of people. You know what I mean? Like the message is just different. So I question that Prescott win. But his story was very motivational. I'll say that, but I still question the win.
I don't know how they grade it. I don't know what they do to what's the word, to come up with their answer, their thing. To me, it's like a leadership award, right? Everybody puts a package in, and whoever has probably the most impact or whatever it is, it's what they go with. So I can't say. I don't know.
I think they also go off of like the percentage that is, you know, donated to the charities, or I think that also has something to do with it. They look at it. They look at how active the charities and foundations are and everything.
Because the consensus of Dallas people is they see Luka more than they ever see Dak.
Yo, Luka's a star. Luka is a star. Ever since he came
and
from
I'm not
Europe,
talking about a star on the court. I'm just saying in the community.
Like, yo, Luka is something big to Dallas. Like, oh my God.
So
shoot,
we got June timing in. I'm glad he get in, because you know his team is playing in less than 48 hours.
We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the NFL.
What's up? Let's go. Flamingos fly, baby.
Okay, June.
You see how you got him started when we're talking about the man of the year thing?
Right now we're covering
his team up. We can do it.
We could have gotten there, but you just
but
told
you
me
didn't.
the conversation
But
that we
you
were having.
didn't.
No, I'm about to tell him right now. So we're discussing NFL honors. We kind of talked about the MVP, you know, what our take on it. Nikki gave hers. I gave mine. Bree hasn't given hers yet. Nikki also brought up the NFL honors. I mean, not NFL honors, the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. I went to Dak, and she kind of feels she doesn't really agree with it going to Dak, you know, and she gave her reasons why. So
it's not that I don't agree. I think if you look at like winners of the past, or I shouldn't say winners, but a winner, because I only did it against Winthrop, whatever, however you say his name, and I just feel like where his was more for the people, Dak was more for my mom.
Yeah, the tackle from the Rams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and like I said, the consensus of the Dallas people is, you know, you saying he out here doing this for the community, but we don't see that. We see Luka more, and that's a whole different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, granted, it's not football, but you know what I'm saying. Like if I'm going to don you such a prestige award, I would like to feel like, yo, the award was warranted, and I don't know if it was 1,000% warranted for Dak to win it. Maybe not this year, but I don't think it was. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
And then I do understand where people get motivation based off of, you know, some life things or whatever. But you know, I don't know.
No, you know, to put it into Navy terms, you know, that collateral for Dak, I mean, it got him a strong high peak. You know, as performance shows, that the high collateral to be this Walter Payton award, which is a huge collateral, but damn, his performance is showing P status. He's definitely a promotable. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Why did we ask the Eagles fan? Anyways, what's your take? I know we watched it. We was texting back and forth. What was your take of last night?
It's gonna. Oh, go ahead, Bree.
No, go ahead, June.
No, go ahead. I'll go last.
Go ahead.
No, you already started, June. Just go.
I think it was extremely dope when it came to Hamlin. I honestly, I kind of wish he would have spoke from the heart instead of reading the prompter. I think it would have hit a little bit harder. Though he did fight his emotions off in the beginning. I'm pretty sure you can see that. But next time, let the man speak from the heart. ESPN, damn it. Other than that,
Red off.
So he was
yeah,
on.
yeah.
They talked about it on NFL Total Access, and he was so nervous because he doesn't speak in front of a lot of people like that ever. So he asked to read from a prompt because that will make him get his words out because he has stage fright.
Yeah, but everybody read for the prompt though.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But other than that,
certain words, I'm like, Dak, what? Like, come on. The words are right in front of you. Read the
word.
They probably wrote it down and then,
I didn't even watch.
Instead of him saying the Payton family, he said the Walters family. Y'all didn't catch that. But it's like, bro, you reading it.
But nah, it's gonna sound biased a little bit. I'm not sure what everybody else did for the Walter Payton Award. I think it's super dope because those are the only players that get to wear the logo, the patch on their uniform for the rest of their career.
It's a prestige award.
I think it's super, super dope. I'm not sure what everybody else did. So I can't say too much about it. I mean, his story, like I said yesterday on the chat, I definitely respect his story. I think it's, it's tough, when you lose anyone, especially losing his brother to suicide and he focusing on that. That's just a whole different story. But I respect him for what he did at the end.
Yeah, but that's what I feel. I feel like his story won the award.
Right, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not trying to discredit that. You know what I'm saying? But it also makes it look like, now we won't know what the other people are doing because you only know what you're doing once you win the award, unless you're in that city. You know what I'm saying? Or that state. So, I mean, it is what it is. He won it, but I don't know. That's all.
Yeah. And then, like I said yesterday too, I was kind of upset. It seems like everything and everyone is around the Chiefs and Mahomes. And honestly, I really didn't see anything Eagles. Not even the damn commercials. Even the damn like the sales. They were all focusing on the Chiefs sales. Like, man, I wanted to buy some Eagles stuff. I already did, but what about those that didn't? You know what I mean?
We ain't there yet, June. We that's last, bro. That's the last topic. I gotta bring you back in. We gotta.
Well, shoot, man. I was just talking about the honors, as a whole. But yeah.
He's talking about the honors where there was no.
Speaking of Man of the Year, a former year 2020 NFL Man of the Year, Russell Wilson, is under investigation because Russell Wilson's foundation is under investigation after raising $2.6 million in charity in 2019, but only donating $78K.
They said he donated, like they took 23 cents of each dollar in 2 years.
Each dollar.
He donated it.
Which is like 1/4.
Yeah, I hope he's not even involved in that. I hope that, he's just the face, the name, and he has somebody else running it. Because that would really suck. I mean,
no, regardless, if you're the face, it's you.
Well, yeah. But if he doesn't have any,
and you might not be doing the day-to-day operations, but it's you, like that's your name.
But
they're gonna be like, why didn't you check it?
A lot more can cost them. Like, what I'm trying to get to is I hope it doesn't cost him where he's at right now in the team and everything else, because that's big. You have You have right now, Brett Favre still on with the ongoing investigation.
Yo, did you see that he just
Ref,
sued
Speaking of
Pat
him,
McAfee
he's
and
suing Pat
Yeah.
McAfee and
Shannon Sharp,
Uncle Shannon for defamation of character.
and I
He's
think
doing
like the
that too.
Mississippi I forgot who it is, the
Mississippi-
auditor.
Doing, but what I'm saying is, this is heavy, man. This is big. You know, when people give you all
Mhm.
this money and they donate and you don't apply it. But I mean, he just had dinner with Sean Payton and a few other people. So hopefully he's okay. And you know, there's not.
Regardless, you gotta let scandals shake out. So you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I think what helps.
we might never hear the verdicts, but the sucky thing about it is that once shit is out like this, regardless if you hear the verdict or not, eyebrows are gonna be raised, and people are gonna question a lot of things. So I don't know.
Mhm.
What helps Russ is that his character and his
Oh
yes,
yeah,
it speaks for itself. So a lot of people don't question
Yeah.
it per se.
Mhm.
You know, like let's say if that was somebody else, they'll be like, "Oh, nah, he took the money. That's how he bought the house for Ciara." You know, no, they you know his character is gonna help him out a whole lot.
I think Future has something to do with it.
here we go.
Oh, shut up.
Here we go.
You should pay somebody.
Shut
You know what I'm saying?
Here we go.
Yeah,
It's part of the script. It's part of the script.
it's
It's
part of the
part of
script.
the script.
It's part of the
It
script.
is part of the script. All right, so we have some NFL honor looks that I'm gonna post on here, and we are gonna rate these outfits A through F. We're gonna
All right.
grade them. All right. So first we have, hold on. We have Michael Parsons and Lil Malcolm.
Is that Dior?
I saw that. I thought it was cute.
I don't know. I don't
thought it
know.
was
I don't
cute.
think
It looked like
I
some
give
Dior
it a
type joint.
C. I give it a C, C minus. The reason why I
No,
give it
I
a C
give-
minus is look at his shoes. Look at his shoes.
Nah, yeah, the shoes kind of throw it off. If he had like some dress shoes with it, then like yeah, it'll complete the fit.
Mhm.
Like
Nobody's wearing dress shoes like that no more. Like that.
I mean,
Like,
but
they're
even
always-
then,
At
They're
the,
always
at the
put
red
some-
carpet event for the NFL honors, this is
I
the
don't know,
Grammys for the NFL.
but his shoes look thrown off compared to the outfit. You feel me?
Yes.
Those look like something you wear at the LA Fitness when you about to run it up on the court. You feel me?
I give it a solid B plus.
Lil Malcolm is so handsome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what raised it.
Oh yeah.
He's cute with it. You
Yeah.
know, as far as the dad, I mean, bro, you could have wore something different. You could have got somebody to sponsor you and give you a damn suit. I mean,
Ain't nothing wrong with this.
It's the shoes just throw it off for me. You can't have that nice dressy with some tennis shoes. Like what? Like
No,
if they
you
were like cool
can't. I think
Jordans and like the
issue is
pants.
the pants is too long. The pants leg is too long.
I didn't even
You
peep the
can't.
shoes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
if the
saying. You don't see
Pants
the
legs
shoes.
were
It's the
like they
pants.
stop at like his ankles, but he has some like doper shoes on because they look like sway and like worn out.
Yeah, that's yeah. I was like that's the
Yeah.
first thing I noticed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It looks
Like, he
cute
has some
for his
different ones.
son. I just think the pants were too long.
You think so? For his son
Yeah.
or for Micah?
Well, his
No, for
son has on different
Micah, the son
shoes.
looked
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, okay.
I think the sun jacket a little
Oh,
too
yeah.
big for me, but it is what
Word.
it is.
Yeah, just a little too big, but he's still cute.
Yeah, it's too
Lil
big. It
Malcolm gets
reminds
A.
of
Lil Malcolm gets an A. His dad gets a C minus.
his jacket remind me of Steve Harvey way back in the day wearing the oversized
Yeah. All right, Stephon Diggs.
Stephon looked really good last
Yeah.
night.
I like
Yeah.
I like the shoes. I like the whole getup.
Mhm.
You know? He looks very clean.
I like.
But
his
you see
watch.
how his pants are a little bit more tapered in?
Yes, that
You know what I'm saying?
that's
That's what
looks
Mika's
good.
problem was. If he was gonna wear a sneaker, but Stephon looked good. He looked every time they put the TV on him,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I give him an A.
God.
Yo, nah, cause I watched his 10 Essentials recently. Like, yo, he's really into like like skincare and healthcare. Like, you feel me?
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, you
bro,
could
really,
tell his face
he's
looks
really
really
into
good.
it, yo. Like, he has a whole thing going on. You feel me? Like a whole routine and a whole
Oh yeah, he an A
thing that he
plus
does.
plus.
Yeah,
That suit
Yeah, I give him an A.
put it all together.
he stay fresh. Yeah.
Yeah, A plus plus.
Mhm. Okay, we have Josh Jacobs.
Oh, Josh Jacobs. Oh, what's it called?
It looks basic, but it makes it hits the mark. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
don't know.
I'm not feeling his
I
pants.
like the button down a little open, show the chin.
Nah, yeah, flex,
Um,
little flex.
I don't like his pants.
He looks
It-
good. A B.
I give it a B. Yeah,
I give him a
Oh,
C plus.
Yeah, see.
I think it's dope. I think
No.
that the
like
velvet
it.
jacket definitely makes everything stand out. You know.
I like the velvet
Mhm.
jacket. I don't like the pants.
But I'm gonna tell you
I
right
think
now,
the
he
pants
ain't got
might
no
be a
ass cheeks.
little too high, like a
Yeah,
little.
yeah, just
it's
a little bit too
little
high.
It's like a
He got
little
ashy
too
ankles,
high.
though.
Like
He
if
ain't got
they
ashy
came
ankles.
down an inch,
Nah, yeah,
they came down like an inch.
fresh.
Yeah.
But look, his foot looks swollen.
Mhm.
Look at one foot. It looked like the shoes are too.
What, the
It
right one?
sure do.
Yeah,
The right one.
Yeah.
It's the pants. The pants look like he's supposed to wear size 12 and it's a size 7.
He should have. It looked like he didn't pull him down. It looked like he just, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He tried to make it work.
Yeah, no, bro.
It don't work.
Yeah.
Okay, Dak.
I like that suit. It's not that bad.
But this
I
is
like,
what I'm saying about wearing shoes with sneakers. Dax actually
Yeah,
look
no.
nice.
it looks nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
Hell, that shit look like a robotic. He looked like a
No,
robot.
it does
Like a
not.
tin,
You're
like he
hating.
looked like a
Stop
he looked like he
You're hating.
looked
The
like he belonged
color-
on the
The
Star
color,
Wars.
he does look like he is. Like,
You are
in
hating.
some,
The
like,
color is
aluminum.
off a little bit, but the whole getup is
Mhm.
fine.
Nah, yeah, this like
The get up is fine. It's
the
the
idea.
color.
Dude,
Yeah.
you said that's why he's a P?
Hey, that's a promotable right there.
No.
He look
I
like he
Now-
belong
give
in
him
Star
a
Wars.
solid B.
I give him a
With
B.
the color, I would have went with a gold chain
Yeah, I
and
think
a gold
I can
throw
see
me
it.
off,
I
man.
can see it.
Honestly, I think the color's throwing me off.
It's
But-
the color. Like
Yeah.
if it was a
Yeah, the
solid
suit
blue,
is nice. The suit is good.
but
And then
That
you-
suit is
I would
crazy
have worn
fire.
gold with that color though,
yeah,
versus
he gotta
silver.
be. He gotta be.
Okay. All right. This is the A++ man. I couldn't find a stand picture of him, but Justin Jefferson looked
I
I could
like-
probably find you one.
It's
amazing.
it's simple. Is nothing crazy. I like it. He looks clean. He's smiling. The shade.
Mhm.
I give him an A+ for that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes.
another solid A++.
Bro, they had a picture. They had posted a tweet of him from like when he had walked in, to on the red carpet. Yo, bro, like pulled up in style and everything. Like, yo, he
Mhm.
knew he was the best wide receiver in the in the league. The way how he pulled up.
Mhm.
Yeah, that picture's
Okay.
really good.
Yeah,
All right, Zach Ertz.
Yo,
I
that's
like
he
it.
did good
It's
too.
solid. It's solid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Mhm.
solid.
It
Mhm.
looks really nice.
I like the
pants are
fact that he paired it with
perfect
black.
length. The black shoes match
Mhm.
the tie and the collar shirt.
Yeah,
Yo,
but you
his
see how
girlfriend
his
also
pants is
looks
right.
nice.
No.
See that?
I think
See, this is the pants Parson needed to wear, and Jacob's shit was too small. This is perfect.
Yeah.
saying it's not that far off the bottom of the shoe.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's
Good.
perfect.
I mean, it's good. He looks clean. I mean,
Nah, yeah.
And
It's
his
nothing too
wife is
crazy.
wearing black, and it's
Mhm.
simple
Yeah.
and nice.
Simple and
Yeah,
nice.
it's
Gets the
basic.
job
Mhm.
done.
I think it's
It's a
dope.
B.
You know, when they asked him, what was it? That this is a Malcolm Jenkins like brand. So he was supporting Malcolm Jenkins
Word.
brand right there.
That's fire right there. Like the suit is simple. It's not too
Mhm.
crazy. It gets the job done.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Good old Purdy.
He looked like a rookie.
Basic.
Like,
Yeah,
towards
he looked like a
UCL.
rookie.
So
His
Purdy's
pants
big
are
issue is
really-
the shoes. It was the shoes. The suit is basic too. Everything, and maybe a different belt, but the shoes definitely killed it.
It reminded
And
me of
it's not
like
ironed.
Yeah,
remind me
and
of
the
high
tie.
school.
The tie touching his damn nipples.
Yeah.
I
I wish
wouldn't
he wore a
even
bow
give
tie
it,
with
get rid of
this.
the tie, but
Yeah.
the belt and
Yeah,
the
a
shoes,
bow tie would have looked nicer, and then also pressing your suit as well.
them shoes, man.
So
Nah,
he
yeah.
didn't give a shit. He just
Right,
said, "Fuck it,
yeah.
I'm going to
He's like,
Target
I'm
and
happy
get
No,
me a
he
suit."
did give a shit.
relevant.
He said, "I'm a rookie." So
Yeah,
I'm just here so I won't
and,
get fined.
and I was picked
Getting paid
last.
money. He said
Yeah.
my contract's $100,000. I don't got money like that.
He was like,
Oh,
"I'm
yeah,
a
that's a
rookie,"
fact.
and don't forget, I was picked last.
Hey, yo,
Listen.
bro, he got that minimum that they give like the free agents on Madden, $760K.
Mhm.
Told him to make it work,
Yo,
basically.
And
he
he-
ain't break a
yeah.
meal. He ain't break a meal
Yeah, he
last
said,
year.
"Fuck it." He said, "Yeah, I'm
All
going
right,
to Target. I'm getting the
Najee
first
and
thing on the
his
hanger."
girlfriend.
Now this is clean. This is clean. I think
Nah,
she
Najee
is
look
No.
better.
No. First of all, what is all that shit he had in his pockets?
Cell phones and wallet.
I
No.
can see. I can
No.
see it.
No, no. Number one, and why the fuck he got them socks on?
Yeah, the socks is throwing it off.
No.
But
Oh,
he looks,
yeah.
yes.
Bro,
This-
you know what it looks like when you roll up your jeans a little bit?
No.
Like, that's what it kind
No.
of looks
Oh, you
like.
cuff your jeans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you
Look
cuff your
extremely
jeans.
too
Look
tight.
nice. They look nice. They look very, like a strong.
No.
there.
His pants look too tight, so he shouldn't have had all that shit in there. And then them socks, get rid of them socks. It because of all that shit, it makes the pants look worse to me. I'm sorry.
Nah,
It
Shout out
calls
to
out
my
everything about. Then you had a white shirt with them gray socks. No.
I
Nope,
agree.
not
I
good.
agree with
He
Nikki.
get
I
he
agree
get a
with Nikki
D.
on this one.
What's
get a
making
fucking
this
D.
picture eat though is his beautiful black
I already
queen
X'd
next
her
to
out.
him.
He's
Yeah.
getting a fucking D.
You asked her out. She was one of the only like black girlfriends.
Yeah,
at
but
the
I'm not.
award
I
show.
wasn't. I didn't say nothing about Ertz or whatever in his
Yeah.
girl. I looked
We
at
gotta
him.
love that.
nah,
We have to
for
love
sure, for
that.
sure.
He get a D.
No, I mean, I maybe I'm looking at her thinking she's dope. I don't know. Waist up, looks clean. His hair's clean.
Mhm.
Edge up, beard looks good. Looks, he looks good.
Yeah,
D.
yeah.
He's a
I
good.
hate the white shirt. D.
Wow, you gave him a D.
Yeah, a D. A solid D.
And he's like that first class that did all that work, thinking that they're gonna get an EP and end up getting a D because you can see
Yes.
the bullshit. All right.
Yeah.
That's what that is right there.
We gave him a progression. Okay.
Wow. The
All
captain.
right, we have Christian McCaffrey and his fiance.
CMC look clean. He looked fresh. He looked clean. He looked like he on his 007 type joint.
Look like his shirt is too
Mhm.
big. Look at the way where
I don't like it. I'm sorry.
For
It
real?
look like he going to a funeral doing a eulogy. or
Yeah,
some shit.
yeah, I don't like it.
I wish
There's
I had a
nothing
picture.
wrong with it. I think he should have. I feel like he didn't dress up. That's it.
It's the jacket. It's the jacket that's throwing
Yeah.
me off.
He looked like a short Daniel Craig on some 007 joint. That's about
Yeah.
it.
He don't give you guys like John Cena vibes.
He kind of
He
do. He
do.
kind of do.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, I
see
don't
it.
like it. I don't like it.
I don't know.
You mean
The,
what do you
the,
mean
the
you
bad
see
thing
it,
is
Frankie?
not terrible. Huh?
Not like what they
What
I
I
said
said.
no. I said no. He said John Cena vibes. He goes, oh, I kind of see it. I was like, what do you mean? He's not even there.
Oh, yo,
It's just the girlfriend in the picture.
ah.
This is another D.
Mm.
This is another D.
Okay.
That's funny.
Sauce Gardner.
Oh, stop.
Oh, my
Clean.
dude right there, man.
Nah,
Clean.
bro,
A
clean.
plus
Clean.
plus.
That
He look
screams
good.
I'm defensive rookie of the
You
year
know
right
who
there.
he looks like in this picture a little bit?
Who?
A young Dolph.
Yo,
Yeah, he does.
I knew why I thought she was gonna say that too. Because
Listen,
I was looking at it, I was like, why she gonna say Young Dolph, bro? I was like, nah, he do.
he do. Let me tell you something. I love the color choice.
Oh yeah.
The
Mhm.
color choice was so spot on.
He got the grills in his mouth.
Don't he got some
Love it.
juice in his hair?
The Cardis too on his freaking eyes.
Oh, no,
The
he look good.
Cardis.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah,
A plus
he-
plus plus.
Listen,
And the crazy thing
Mhm.
is,
he
You
understood.
know, the inside of the jacket has thick sauce. I don't know if you've seen when he
Yeah,
opened
well,
it.
the same thing with Justin Jefferson. He had him
Mhm.
doing the gritty on the
word.
inside of
That's
his.
dope.
Yeah,
That's
That's
dope.
dope.
yeah,
This is a young successful man right here. That's what that looks
yeah.
like.
Most definitely, you could tell by
Oh,
his
yeah.
outfit.
This is I'm shutting shit down and I'm coming out here. I got the right person to dress me. We winning. We winning.
Yeah, he's
The
a good
crazy-
A plus plus.
Yo,
And that
and it
is it.
Yeah,
it
you
really
ain't-
agrees with how he like carries himself too. Cause Sauce Gardner, he really like carries himself like he's coming into his own. Like, yo, in the next 3 years, you're gonna be thinking like, damn, yo, it's crazy that he came in 3 years ago because you would have thought he was a vet. Like,
Yeah.
he
So who's the best?
who was the best?
I mean,
Sauce was
Cam
good.
Jordan.
Justin
Cam
Jefferson.
Jordan threw it down too.
yeah,
Sauce? Jefferson and Sauce probably was my top two.
Mhm.
I
Nah, those
like
are my
that.
top two.
Was off, but Yeah, I gave him a B anyway. So yeah.
And
The
then-
worst. Oh, dude, Najee shit was the worst. I'm sorry.
He wasn't the
Really?
Yeah, his was the worst. Yes, it was.
To be honest, I'd say for me it would be Brock's because that's some joint I would have seen
Brock
like at my high
Purdy's.
school
No,
events
Yeah.
last year. Not gonna
No.
lie.
No, he don't got money like that.
Yeah,
fam.
I know, but like
He was the
That's why-
last person to get picked. He only signed $100,000 contract.
he got that
That's
750.
exactly
He
why
got
he
that
wasn't the
750
worst.
contract.
That's
Bruh.
exactly why he wasn't the worst.
Yeah, he
The
couldn't afford it.
expectation
He
had
coulda-
to be
he coulda-
so
he
high.
coulda-
Frank, he
I-
can't afford. He can't afford.
Frank,
an iron.
Frankie, you right.
Nah, but
Frankie,
like
can't
you right. He
afford
could have put
iron,
a
and iron's like
American Express credit
$45.
card or something.
word. Like look, I'm just saying.
An
bro,
Yeah,
iron
but
is
but
$45.
listen, y'all say he's the worst. Najee wasn't picked last, and he
Well,
came looking like that.
Oh, I mean, but
Thank
why
you.
was he?
Thank you.
Purdy.
No,
So
ain't no way. The only
he
thing
couldn't
Purdy
afford
had
an
that
iron.
was
He came in there
terrible.
wrinkled. He was wrinkled from
Word.
head to toe.
Hey, yo, Brock
he
Purdy
was
just
wrinkled
showed up
from
on
head
some.
to
Yeah,
toe.
I'm just here. I'm
You
just
can't
here.
tell me he was picked last, $100,000. He can't afford a $45 iron.
Bree, who gives a fuck about that?
He has a
The only thing that,
That
he
looked
had that was
horrible.
terrible.
You're at an
was-
award show. You come
Nah.
unironed?
Hey, yo, nah, he looked like
Are you
you know who
okay?
he looked
I
like?
can't.
He looked like Michael
Okay, Nikki,
Cera.
you go on the red carpet all wrinkled. You go on the red carpet all wrinkled.
Listen, yeah,
Tell you could spin a lot of things. You could spin a lot of things. Okay, the worst thing for Purdy was his shoes. If he would have had different shoes, he could have got by.
With
Old
a
dude's
wrinkled
pants
suit.
looked like they were 3 sizes smaller besides John Jack.
Listen, I'm just gonna
And then
say
he
it.
wore them out of everybody. Nobody, you couldn't see socks on nobody.
Listen,
No men wear socks with shoes like that no more.
listen. I'm-
No.
So whatever
listen
shoes
what
you
you
have on, it doesn't. So if you wore better shoes, the whole wrinkled suit would have been okay.
The only thing that was wrinkled in that suit was the bottom of his pants. The jacket. Put
His
the picture
whole
back up.
suit.
Put the picture back up, Bree. Cause y'all be.
Yo, listen.
He
His,
said, put the picture back up.
his mama dressed him, y'all. Yeah, this is what the suit.
Okay, so y'all tell me what was wrinkled, but the bottom of his feet.
I think it's the bottom, really.
Right.
bottom,
Thank
The
you.
pants, the thigh area.
Oh my God. See, you see how people
His-
tap.
His blouse. If he would have got the arms tailored, they wouldn't look
Yeah,
as
see, but
wrinkly.
that's the thing, he can't afford it. He went to Josh.
Oh, look,
Bree, first of all, if you
Hey, no,
honest
no,
with
no, no.
yourself, listen, the blouse was not, it's the jacket, first of all. The jacket was not wrinkled. They were long. The arms were long, not wrinkled. The pants is the only tail powder pants. The bottom of the pants is the only thing that's wrinkled. Brock Purdy's worst thing was his damn shoes. All that extra other stuff that you
Okay.
say, whatever, but the shoes was the worst. The worst person was Najee. I'm sorry. The
Okay.
shirt was wrong.
Remind
the-
me to never get any
pants-
fashion advice from none of y'all.
bro.
Girl. Oh, what's
But
the call it?
Frankie. But Frankie.
Nah, Brock's what's it called? It just looked like he like pulled up to a high school event. But like I get it though. He
Yeah.
the last pick. He the last
Right.
pick. Though, but
If you're gonna say the last pick
I'm
was
not
looking
saying
bad,
Najee was the
if
best.
you look
but I
at
don't think he was
Najee,
the
so
worst.
what is Najee excuse?
Najee, I just
Najee
think
don't
what's
have
it
no
called?
excuse.
Right. So
None of them
okay.
have an excuse. They all
Oh,
make
yeah.
money. If you can afford a plane ticket to go to Phoenix, you can afford to get an iron and you get your suit tailored. That's like $150 total. All right, next
Hikey,
topic,
hikey,
y'all.
hikey.
You guys ready?
High key. Yeah.
All right, so Lamar Jackson and the Ravens could be $100 million apart in contract talks. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens could possibly be $100 million apart in talks of over how much guaranteed money should be in his new contract.
I'm not gonna say
Let him go.
let him go. Lamar,
Let
stop
him go.
holding on. I feel like you're holding on to this guy. It's like a marriage that you're holding on to. You don't love no more. The other person doesn't love you. They call you fat when you put an outfit on. They don't want to sleep with you. They don't want to take you out. They're not showing you the value. So guess
So-
what, buddy? You're gonna keep holding on, right? You're gonna hold on and keep trying to bounce, bro. Just say bounce and let him go.
I think what made him hold on a little bit was the fact that they said that he has a say-so in who they're hiring as their next offensive coordinator, and that they're renegotiating with Lamar, and it would be really good. So he's probably like, all right, let me see what they got to say. Finally sat down with them and was like, nah, bro.
This Lamar contract, and tell me if y'all think I'm wrong on this. It sounds so much like Deshaun Watson when he was going through. You know how we talked about it every week? Well, new person came out, knew this, knew that. It's like every week we're talking about this contract, this fictitious contract, this contract that's out there.
There's so many different details every single freaking week.
Look,
yeah, every week.
Here's my thing. Here's what I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it alone. Can Lamar win your Super Bowl? I don't know. Is Lamar a difference maker on the field? Yes.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
It is we all see what coaching does, right? We seen it. We saw Matthew Stafford go to Sean McVay, they won a Super Bowl. You've seen what Brian Daboll was to Josh Allen and how he helped minimize his turnovers. He leaves. Josh Allen's throwing the ball to me, you, Nikki, Frankie, and June, and Ben. And then he goes over to Danny Dimes, and Danny Dimes not fumbling no more. We see what Andy Reid as a coach does, you know. I'm gonna trade away Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna lose the offensive line. I'm gonna rebuild this in the offseason, and I'm in the Super Bowl again. Coaching does matter to players, but at this point, what are we talking about? Either you gotta, again, we said this when the Cavs gave up the damn Browns gave up all that money for guarantee for Deshaun. Don't count somebody else's pockets. And don't let somebody's desperate acts justify you for going. The Ravens are not desperate.
Yeah,
they won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years. They've won one.
And the crazy thing is, if nothing works out with Lamar, then they're just gonna probably either blow it up and then just restart and rebuild. And plus, they have some young core pieces that they could rebuild around also. So it's not like they're stressing. I mean, like you said, they did win the Super Bowl in the last 10 years, freaking the 2012 season. So, I mean, like, at the end of the day, we hearing all these things like every single weekend. It's a new discussion about what type of details are coming out of his contract. Like, I remember when they said, the first contract offer that he got was like 180 million guaranteed, but it was 290 mil overall, and he turned that down. That came out like, I think, the first weeks of the season starting. So, and if it's $100 million like in difference, then I mean just walk, bro. You feel me? Like you're Lamar, like know that you're Lamar Jackson. Like the team knows their worth. How about you know your worth too also at the same time, bro? Because if nothing's happening, then bro, look at Tampa Bay, bro. They're a quarterback away right now. I was looking at it. I'll be playing Madden. I'll be getting experimental, right, bro? I just put Lamar Jackson on the Bucks because, not gonna lie, if you take their quarterback list right now, if you put Lamar Jackson on the Bucks right now, not only do you have a massive run game that opens up, but then you also have a massive play action and RPO attack that opens up too, with having pieces like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and it's not like Lamar can't throw. Like, he has an arm on him. I remember what was it, the 2020 or 2021 season when he was just throwing bombs out the gate to Marquise Brown. Like, come on. So you got Scotty Miller that could run like outside the numbers and stuff like that. Like, yo, bro, there's so many different potential. Like, you know, there's a lot of teams looking for quarterbacks right now. If you just, you know, look like, you know, and I think he's looking for an extension too, like, you know, like a bigger extension, right? If you just look at what's in front of you and what the league has to offer right now, you might find something. And then especially with a team that doesn't have an offensive coordinator too, then let's say you join up with a team that doesn't have an offensive coordinator, then after that, since you're Lamar Jackson, you're coming together to put full hands on deck with this new team. They might involve you in the talks, right? Hey, so Lamar, we just got you. Who do you think would be the best candidate to help you out so we could build around you and maximize your potential with so much talent to put around you, you know? That's based around your skill set. It's so many things that go into it where it's like we're just hearing new things. Nothing's getting done. I think either the Ravens seem like I feel like they made their mind up. So really, we're just waiting on Lamar, whether he's going to take the contract that they give him because it feels like they're not going to change their position, or he explores free agency. I think he should explore free agency. Like, bro, bounce. There's so much better opportunity out there for him.
But do you think that, I mean, right now, I think it's bigger than Lamar for Lamar, right? What do I mean by that? I think there's so many different variables that are going to go into Lamar getting that contract, like the other quarterbacks in free agency, because once the one quarterback signs this contract, it's gonna open the opportunity for another quarterback to be like, we got to match that or whatever the case is. So it's kind of like when they were talking about Jalen. They were like, yo, they need to hurry up and sign him, because if this quarterback signs this massive contract, now that agent is going to be like, nah, we got to raise our price because this is what this guy got. So I think it's going to be a free agency quarterback issue not issue, but it's going to have some type of play in his decision. What quarterback signs what?
He still doesn't have an agent that will negotiate for him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really killing him.
I agree with what June said, to be honest, because like I've been seeing how there's reports coming out saying like, yo, the Eagles are trying to sign his extension right now, and it's gonna be well over $50 million per year. And that's the thing, like, you know, if Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson, I think what it was, like, he just seen Deshaun Watson get his $230 million 5 years.
Kyler Murray got his, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like he probably might think he's better than these players, and he's like, look, if these players are getting paid this much, and like, you know, I probably could produce so much more, why don't you guys pay me, like, you know, my worth, you know? Like, and I think it even goes back to look at Christian Kirk, when they was like, oh, look at how much they gave up for Christian Kirk. Like, I think it was 3 years, $84 million or something like that, or 4 years. And it was like, yo, Christian Kirk just messed up the whole free agency market, because after that we started seeing like so many crazy deals with wide receivers. Like the whole wide receiver value just went up in the market. And then like, think about it, so the salary cap just went up too. I think the salary cap is between 240 mil to 262 mil, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere between those figures. I don't remember exactly, but like the whole point is it went up, so of course players are going to be looking for more money, or teams are going to be looking to put more money into the pieces that they can to maximize the potential of the team. So I mean, really, it's a lot going on. It's a very tricky time for, you know, these deals and everything, but something is probably going to have to happen soon, or else, I mean, we're just going to be staring at an endless cycle of like, oh, new report. So that's really how I look at it right now.
Nikki, I got a question for you. Frankie mentioned other quarterbacks and values and knowing your worth. You've been a big Lamar supporter. You know, every time that you had to pick a game, even if they was about to get their ass whooped because they were playing Jesus, you still pick Lamar. How do you think Lamar compares to other quarterbacks? Let's take Jalen Hurts and Lamar. Eagles plan to extend. Do you think they're in the same category?
So I actually had a conversation about Lamar earlier today at work, right? And if I'm looking at Jalen and not the people that they built around Jalen, and I'm looking at Lamar and the lack of people they have around Lamar, I would say, why wouldn't we give Lamar a fair chance? It is what it is. If I had to pick Jalen of last year and Lamar of last year, I would pick Lamar. I had to pick Jalen 2 years ago and Lamar 2 years ago. I'll pick Lamar. And it's not to discredit Jalen, is it because I truly believe in Lamar. You get what I'm saying? So I stand by Lamar. I'm sorry, I do. Now, I have a question before I continue, right? Because Frankie said, no, y'all all said, hey, Lamar just needs to let it go. Lamar stopped playing for them once he got hurt.
Yeah, he did.
Is it Lamar that needs to let it go? Or is it the race?
I mean, she does
because Lamar
pose a good point.
He has stood. Lamar has not wavered. I want this, and if I don't get this, I will not proceed. And he hasn't proceeded.
So, and think about it, the playoff game.
No, but look, let's just be real, right? You're right. He didn't play. And Nick Bree, you were shaking your head. No, I want to get to that in a minute. I don't want to lose sight of that. The issue I have, here's the issue, right? You brought up a good point. The Eagles went out and they said, we're going to surround Jalen with talent. We're going to beef up our defense. We've talked about that ad nauseum, all right? If anybody should have got an award last night, you know who should have got the MVP award? The general manager for the Eagles.
Who,
Mhm.
Howie?
Howie
Is
should
it-
have got the MVP because what he did and what he was doing the whole season, he didn't sell his great grandkids like the Rams did to win a Super Bowl. He's doing it clean and smart, right? But here's the deal,
Doing it
right?
for longevity. Mhm.
Yeah, but
He's a great
where-
GM. He's a
I'm
great
gonna throw
GM.
this out to you guys. Quarterbacks that get hungry and want the most money, you handicap your team. Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers, everybody that's done it has handicapped that.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, Joe Flacco, when he signed, remember he won the
Mhm.
Super Bowl, gets this big money, they go downhill from there. Patrick Mahomes signed a major contract, right?
Team friendly though.
Massive deal. But then he restructured to keep people there. See, a
Mhm.
quarterback that's smart, and like you said,
Like Ben
players.
Brady.
yeah, Ben
Burrow about to do it too, actually.
Tom Brady did it
Breeze.
for 23 years. Tom left over $300 million on the table. Over. If we going off rings, he should have been paid millions in the in the NFL.
Should have had a Michael
But
Jordan
he
contract.
took pay cuts to make sure there was a
Exactly.
team surrounded to
Sure.
help him keep winning.
Can get players to win games. So
Mhm.
with that being said, I would throw this question back to you or anybody who wants to answer it. He wants all this money. You're gonna handicap your team. You're not gonna be able to get the wide receiver you want. You're not gonna be able to go get
Actually,
the coaching that you need. You're gonna get stuck with okay, I got 250 million guaranteed. You can't get a wide receiver to come.
no.
You're not gonna get one.
You
when-
can't get, they're
Spain.
not going to get a good wide receiver to go to
Mhm.
Baltimore anyway because they're not throwing the ball to wide receivers
Exactly.
in Baltimore.
Okay, wait. So actually, I want to tack on from what you said from that. It's gonna hurt the team because if you look at it from I just talked about how they raised the salary cap, right? If you're getting that much money guaranteed, imagine the cap hit that you're gonna see every single year. Like for instance,
Mhm.
look at
Look
we
at the
could take-
Saints.
No, not even that. I'm gonna take an example from the NBA, right? Look at when 2017, because I just seen a tweet about this. Look at back in 2017. Westbrook signs, what I think at the time the biggest NBA contract because he was the triple-double MVP of the season, right? Cool.
Mhm.
They broke it down saying that in the last 5 years since he won, right? From 2017 to 2022, he's been on I think 4 or 5 different teams:
Five
Thunder,
different teams.
Wizards, Jazz, Portland, and then the Lakers, right? And then
And
on top
Lakers.
of that,
Mhm.
every single time when he has been traded, either it's because he's not producing well enough, and then on top of that, his contract is a big hit, so they can't really produce around him. And matter of fact, that's the real reason why the Lakers just traded him to the Jazz, because his contract was too big of a contract for him
That
to
they
be
couldn't get anybody else.
exactly to be underperforming. And then that's why when they talk about what's called Rob Pelinka do something, you can't do nothing with Westbrook's contract that's so like it's hitting the cap too hard. If you want to get some actual help, you're not gonna find it. Yeah, Nikki.
I'm gonna let you finish.
But yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's too much, it's gonna be too much of an overwhelming contract on the team, and then it's gonna hit the cap too hard. So essentially, what you might want, I think I just seen something. They said that the Eagles are the best team right now that have created a foundation of like how to build a team. There's like the Eagles are one of the most well-rounded, if not the most well-rounded team in years in the NFL. And I agree with it because they got a good defense, they got a good offense too. They took a chance on their young quarterback, and then they surrounded him with weapons. And then not only that, they didn't get like some crazy star players on the defense. No, they got reliable, consistent role players and key pieces. They already on top of that had their experienced veterans on there too. The Eagles are literally the best team in the league right now. Like they are the best team in the league.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
more rounded. Mhm.
Exactly. So if you don't have that, if you're trying to win, if you're trying to follow that like formula and win, you need to have like, it's not saying
So
that
look.
Lamar's not due for his money, but he should, if he's gonna get all that money, I feel like he should sign something like what Mahomes did, a long 10-year contract. You could get your guaranteed money, but also leave space to have a team that could be built around you too.
But so go ahead. I want to get to Bree shook her head right? And I want to know why she shook her head. Then I want to get to Nikki's. I know Nikki has some questions, and it's a good topic. It is, but I want to make
I
sure
forgot why I shook my head.
you
Oh,
forgot.
because you said it was something about I remember because I agreed with you. It was like taking the chance on like Jalen and Lamar
I
and
said
then looking at the
Lamar and Jalen on
situation.
the same level,
Yeah.
and you
Uh-huh.
shouldn't know.
And then
No.
not yet.
Why
I
did
feel
you
like I can
say
agree
no?
with you. Why? Like, is it because Jalen is like the lesser in experience
Oh,
compared to
no,
Lamar?
I'm gonna tell you why they're not on the same level right now. I can
One, because
Yeah.
there's multiple reasons. One is because Jalen is taking his team to the Super Bowl, and 3 years in the NFL, and his first year starting was last year.
True. Yeah.
And two, Jalen Hurts is also a rushing quarterback, but he also has an arm and he can throw. Now,
Yeah, he's
when you
efficient.
have a quarterback that likes to run, there's no like I'm not a I don't like rushing quarterbacks at all. I was telling Frank that I'm an old school pocket quarterback, you know. I've watched football since I was 6 years old. I'm an old school where there was no rushing when you were a quarterback. But the difference between Lamar and Jalen Hurts, with both of them rushing a lot, is when Jalen throws the ball, his wide receivers are guaranteed going to catch it almost every single time. Lamar, he's going to throw it to Mark Andrews. If he throws it down deep, it's like a 1 in a 5 chance his wide receivers are going to catch it.
Yeah.
And it's because they're not training him to keep throwing it to his wide receivers. That's why wide receivers are leaving Baltimore. That's why wide receiver ones aren't getting the stats or getting the plays that they want, because they're not getting the ball.
Because they're doing tight end RPO packages. That's why. Like,
so that's just my opinion.
June got his hand raised. June, what's up?
No, you know what's crazy is right. Two things, right? The second thing is what Breach said, but the first thing is kind of tackling what Frankie said, and I know you tackled the NBA a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze in the Major League Baseball, right? So you got the Yankees, right? They're able to pay, what's his name? What's the guy they just resigned? Judge, right? They were able to pay Judge $300 million.
Aaron Judge.
In a 10-year. Right, in 10 years. So you be like, and that's a huge contract, but that's 10 years, right? And when you split that up 10 years and you split that up 162 games, like you're able to do things like that with 9 players, right? With 9 starters versus a roster of 53 with 17 or 18 games now in the season. So you don't get to handicap the entire team based on paying a superstar. Now, like you were saying, you know, going back into the NFL, and Brady, right, and other players have probably done the same thing that they're not getting that credit for. But Brady, because he's just a superstar, and it worked. If you restructure that, now Frank said something a while ago, and it's right on the money. Like, do you focus on self accomplishments, right, or do you focus on your legacy? Brady was able to cement his legacy based on reconstruction of his contract his entire career. And that's why he has the 7 Super Bowls. He doesn't have the 7 Super Bowls because he thought about himself. Now let's take Aaron Rodgers, for example, right? He's thinking about himself, and that's just it. And that's the difference that you get when you pay somebody versus when you think about your legacy. And
June, I want to tack on what you said real quick. I like how you said that because Aaron Rodgers, he thinks about himself, but also complains about how he has no wide receivers yet. His contract, he just signed a selfish contract. Like, bro, I heard that he's kind of trying to rework it, but like, come on. Like, I like what June said. All right.
Go ahead, June. Go ahead.
No, and but the second to last thing, you know, it's kind of crazy. I love Lamar. I like what he does. I love what he brings to the table, what he's done to the NFL. But when you take what he's done to the NFL, and then you take Jalen, what he's done in 2.5, 3 years, right? The progression and what he has shown is going to get him something that he deserves. In 2 years, in 2 years, Jalen was about to break the Russian quarterback record, right? For a dual threat quarterback. He was one Russian quarterback touchdown away from tying Cam Newton. Lamar been in the game for a while. Hell, he's MVP. There's no reason why Lamar hasn't broken that stat yet.
And he's broken, especially you could say, especially the season where he broke so many records, you know?
So now, Nikki, Go ahead, baby girl. Let it go. Cause I see your face. You
I
got
see her over there boiling, bro. Just boiling.
you got them notes in the head. Go
I'm
ahead.
not boiling. I think everybody touched a little bit of what I wanted to say, right? And I think June, you said it the best. And I think that's the aspect that you need to look at, right? So when you talk about let's use Brady. Hey, Brady did this for his legacy. He did it for more for the team. You have to look at where Lamar is looking at. He's not, and unfortunately, I think a lot of us do this. We compare from the next man, right? So we like, okay, oh, dude ain't the Seahawks ain't make it nowhere in so many years. They traded Russell and gave him this. Deshaun Watson ain't played in 2 years. They traded him and gave him that. You get what I'm saying? In all honesty, besides Andrews, they already gave away Marquise Brown. Who else does he have? So at the end of the day, now I have to be like, okay, my team don't have nothing for me to say, hey, let me do for my team. I got to take care of me. You know what I mean? And not saying that it's not selfish, but you have to look at it all the way around. You know what I mean? So yeah, Brady did sacrifice, but he had a team. You get what I'm saying? Like Brady sacrificed to keep the team. You want Lamar to sacrifice for who? You don't have a name. You don't have nothing. So right. So you got to look at it both ways. I see the way I see it. My eyes are wide open. But it's like, okay, for who? So if you can't, so let's say he sacrificed and the team makes no other success, my sacrifice is wasted in my eyes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because you paying others that haven't even produced half of what I have in the 2 years I've been here with my team. 3 years I've been here with my team. So, and that's why I say nothing against Jalen, because of course, Frankie said it, that team is well-rounded. Mm-hmm. And because they're well-rounded, you can see the success of Jalen. Unfortunately, the Ravens are not well-rounded.
Yeah.
I cannot sacrifice for, I can't, you want me to sacrifice for holes that I don't know how it's going to get plugged.
Yeah. And shoot.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Mm-hmm. Not even at the deadline they did something.
So I have a question. So if you were a top wide receiver, right? Wide receiver 1, would you want to play in Baltimore knowing that you're not going to get the ball, knowing that you're not going to get the stats, knowing that you're not going to, knowing that you're not, going to break records?
The
or
issue
make yourself
I have
still
with this
stand
is
out
this.
As an elite, amazing wide receiver.
The issue I have is, this is the only issue I have with what you're asking me, because I wouldn't. My issue is, so what is the head coach doing? Because on another team, you'd be like, the head coach fucked up. Why did you call that play? Why you didn't do that? But on this team, you're like, Lamar, hold on to the ball. Who we blaming on what side?
So we're blaming everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
No, I don't. No. Your question of asking if I was the wide receiver, why would it come? You only say that because you say Lamar holds the ball. That is solely for Lamar.
And I said he doesn't throw the ball to anybody but Andrews, but that's not his fault, because we already said on a podcast. We already said on a podcast that they took him out of throwing the ball when he came into the NFL, because he was thrown when he was at Louisville.
Yeah,
they took him out of being a passing. We already said that it was the organization's fault for taking him away from throwing something that he's good at. We've been said that. And when I'm asking that question, I'm asking as an organization, not just pinned on Lamar. Would you go to Baltimore if you know you're not going to get the ball? No, because the coaches and the organization took Lamar out of throwing, and he's only going to throw to Mark Andrews, or he's going to run the ball.
It's
not anything against Lamar. It's against the whole entire organization. We already touched bases on they took him out of that style.
Yeah, like we got to look at what Harbaugh doing.
Really. And I agree with that, and I do 100%. The organization, you have to look at it. But you see, the thing about it is when we start talking about teams, right, and we start talking about all this other stuff, I don't know the numbers of players on the Eagles that are on 1-year contracts. Like Sue's a 1 year. He's coming in there to play. He won Super Bowl. He might be gone. He might stay. We don't know. I don't know what that team's gonna look like, right? The next year. what I do know, and I
Like-
can't speak about every other team, I can speak about my team. When you have success for so long, it's because people buy into a system. People buy into what you're selling, right? On Brady's podcast, Let's Go, they had Bill Belichick, and
I
Belichick
saw that.
actually, Brady wanted me to check him in front of them, because if I don't check him in front of them, then he doesn't have the buy-in from them. He can't check them, because it's motherfucker, you can't tell me nothing when nobody's checking you. So he wanted that. He wanted that tough love. And Colin said it best. He said, some people need coaching. Some people need that structure, right? I don't think Baltimore is where, as an organization, is where they need to be to produce what we're saying to produce, right? Eagles are there. I believe Pittsburgh has never deviated from it. You know, I think they're there. I think the Jags are there now. You have a Super Bowl winning head coach. We was in the divisional round. We were 2 plays away from going to the AFC Championship. Our first round pick quarterback is finally showing that he is him, that he is what we thought he was going to be. So now we just need to believe. And we know what that's going to do. It's going to bring other wide receivers and other players to that team that say, you know what, I already got a ring. Well, I already have a Hall of Fame career. What I need is that ring. So let me go there and
The culture that's gonna buy in
and support them.
Mhm.
Because that's why I just need to cement my legacy, right? I don't see that in Baltimore. Baltimore, first off, let's just be real. Both Super Bowls were won with having a great defense. The first one really won on a great defense, on the back of a great defense.
Bro, Trent Dilfer was the starting quarterback.
Yeah, and has the nerve to talk shit about.
Don't forget the second one, the power went out and it helped them out.
Oh yeah.
I went out, and they won. So I going back to Lamar, and I I didn't really want to give him this much time, but I agree, Nikki. I think we all have valid points, to be honest. But if it comes down to it, is what's the vision of the organization? What are we going to go to? He had his best success when he had 3 tight end setup. He had
Hurst.
he had Hurst, and he had Hayden. He had 3 tight ends, and he had the best success. And they ran the ball well, and they got the ball downfield, and the tight ends ate. Then they went away from that. They sent Hurst away to the Falcons. I think Hayden went somewhere else, and they kept Andrews. Sometimes when you get me accustomed to one thing, that's what I'm going to get accustomed to, and it's going to be hard to break out of it. Like we said, they took him away from throwing the ball. Lamar Jackson probably has one of the strongest arms in the NFL. Probably top 5.
Yeah.
Look at if you want to look at the opening season when he was throwing 5 touchdowns against the Miami Dolphins, not from this season, but I want to say the 2021 one or the 22 one. I mean the 2021. So
Frankie said it earlier. You go to the Bucks, their championship winning team. You go to
Oh,
you go to the Dolphins.
That's what I think.
Like-
Dolphins with Mostert, Wilson Jr. running back. You have Waddle and Tyreek
Tyreek
Hill. You got
Shoot.
Gesicki on the tight end.
and Jaceki.
And
I
then you
think-
go and you take Lamar and you say, okay, under center. Here's what we're gonna do. Match up. I want you to match up. I'm gonna put the 2 fastest guys, arguably in the NFL, on the outside. I'm gonna leave my
And
top
then he can get back to
run,
throwing.
and then I want to see what you're gonna do.
no.
And I think that's part of the reason too, Nikki. That he has to say bye. There's so many opportunities out there for him. You're right. The Eagles, and it's not fair to compare him to Jalen because of what the Eagles did.
Mhm.
It's not. But the
It's
difference
the-
is Jalen's in the
that-
Super Bowl right now.
That front office acted.
The
That
only
front office acted.
Is the Rams was in the Super Bowl last year. Like sometimes it is what it is. Certain thing, and I'm not saying this is the truth for the Eagles, right? Because I think the Eagles, they were going to go there regardless, right? I think they did what they had to do to go there. But so keep saying that, Jalen's in the Super Bowl, the Rams was too. What's his name was last year, and he shouldn't have been. And I'm not taking that away from him. I'm not taking it. But sometimes we hold on to certain things that sometimes it's not only solely on that player. So it's hard for me with some of our conversations because we pinpoint one person, but then talks about other things for other people to get the other person that you want to reference to where they are. And then when we try to talk about that, you're like, but that's not what I'm saying. But then why did we reference that? Because Jalen in the Super Bowl was not solely on Jalen.
No. It's about
Hold
having a good team.
Super Bowl. It's like, okay. And that's why I'm like, okay, we're gonna use that. Jalen has a team. Lamar doesn't. When when you're not well rounded, it's hard to get to the Super Bowl. When you are right rounded, you have an easier step to the Super Bowl. Not saying that you could get there, but you just have an easier step.
I mean, and we can all
But
agree.
when you have an organization that's not gonna look at the big picture and see what the NFL has come to nowadays, you're not gonna get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and not only that, let's be honest, that the AFC is probably the hardest conference right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The AFC is harder than the NFC. I'm sorry.
You got like, especially nowadays.
The Eagles are built to be back in this joint next year again if
Yeah.
they get together. He can't guarantee that in the
Well,
AFC.
you just got to verify who only signed a 1 year contract,
Yeah.
or where people
The
are.
key components are there. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Yeah.
offensively,
When
because
you
look at the
look at the
defense. It's
AFC,
really the
so-
defense.
Yeah, the defense
not-
is
the AFC, you can't you
back.
arguably got the best quarterbacks in the AFC.
Oh yeah.
Hands down. You know, if you
Yeah.
if you name the top 5 quarterbacks or top 10,
4 out of the
Look
5
at
are
the
probably going to be
MVP,
AFC.
the MVP list.
yeah,
Yep.
they all in the AFC. So you know, I'm not saying Lamar might want to jump ship and go to the NFC, but you know what I'm saying?
I mean, Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers.
Again, you know, Jalen is in a good spot. And I don't like to compare, but you know, it does come out to that, Nick, at the end of the day, is people look at it like, you know, Jalen, I think, had 1 playoff win last season, and then he lost to the Bucks, right, in a divisional round.
No, he didn't.
No,
he
it was
just-
the wild card.
Yeah, he lost in
Yeah.
the wild card.
So never mind. So up until the season, they had about the same amount of wins in the playoffs, which was 0.
But the crazy thing is, though, right? They always said that if they could get Jalen to get better in the offseason, because the Eagles are just 1 quarterback away, but they weren't gonna go shopping out for a quarterback. They said, "Nah, we're gonna stay with our young quarterback, and if we could get him to perform how he was like how we want him to, and we coach him and mold him the right way, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're contenders off rip." And what happened? We saw the difference making. They put the pieces around him. And I like when we said, "Oh, what are the contracts looking like?" Really, we gotta look at the contracts for the defense, because they secured the offense. 4 years, $100 million for AJ Brown. Devontae Smith still on his rookie deal. Of course, they're gonna extend him. Miles Sanders, I think he's on a team friendly deal because he was consistent, but he wasn't like
He was injury prone the last
Yeah,
couple
you
of
feel me?
seasons.
so.
Just-
He was so
But
flashy.
remember,
but like,
the whole contract thing, it falls back on Howie. Let's
Mhm.
just say we have 10 1-year deals. Let's just say that. Remember, we never sold out like the Rams did. So
oh yeah, I
in
got your
order,
picks.
in order, yeah, exactly,
Y'all
right?
got first round 10th pick.
Yeah, I think they
so-
got like a top 10 pick. Yeah.
So we got 2 first-round picks, right? No, we ain't bragging, but we got 2 first-round draft picks because of Jalen's success. Now that opens up, like, hey, we're not gonna pay. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw a name out there, right? We're not gonna pay Miles Sanders. This is his last year. He's on his last year contract. We're not gonna pay Miles Sanders because guess what? We got 2 first-rounders, and we got the luxury of what's his name?
Getting the
And we
wide
got
receiver.
Jalen Hurts being so good this year that now we don't got to worry about drafting a quarterback. Now we're going to draft Miles Sanders' replacement. We
Right.
still got Boston Scott. We still got Gainesville, which is a
Oh,
monster,
Gainwell's
right?
is playing well
And-
too.
And guess what? Last year we already got Kelsey's backup. Kelsey picked his own backup last year. So, I mean, again, I think the draft picks based on Jalen's success really helped the Eagles organization,
Right.
even
Yeah.
if they had like 10 people that are free agent right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is way more. I think it's like 17 or something like that. I had put the picture a long time ago.
So to sum up what I'm gonna say about Lamar, regardless if they pay him or they don't, the Ravens have a lot of work to do. Period.
Yes, as an organization as a whole, yes, they do. That
That's
front
You
fair.
get what I'm
office,
saying? So
the coaching staff, I think they need to just blow it all up, to be honest, because look, I want Lamar to walk because there's so much better stuff. Because sticking with the Ravens, he's been waiting for them to get him some wide receivers. They haven't really drafted none either. I think the only notable one that they made was Marquise Brown, when Marquise Brown's draft stock was like crazy. Then they went and drafted him, and he was inconsistent up until I think his last year, and then he got traded, of course. So it's Bro, literally, I think what they should do, you could probably package something and send away Mark Andrews and who is it, Lamar Jackson together. Blow up, I say blow up the whole thing, restart, rebuild. You could leave Harbaugh at the helm, what should call it, to have that veteran experience as a coach, but also make sure that the right coaching staff is around too, because this is a different league from when Harbaugh first started coaching back when he was playing against his brother who plays in the NCAA right now, like
Michigan.
exactly. So come on, like I think there's so much stuff that they need to restart. They need to go back to square one. They need to go back because they tried to build around Lamar, and then once they saw, I feel like what happened was that once they saw Lamar really just turn into MVP Lamar, I feel like that's when they kind of like focused and put most of the workload on him, saying that, oh well, if he could do this all by himself, we really don't need to tie in a whole lot of pieces. And I feel like they got comfortable. They got too comfortable to where they were at. They feel like they didn't need to build even more. They was like, you know what, Lamar, he's so great as one player. His impact is crazy. We don't need. We're done. We're good. This is gonna send us to the Super Bowl, bro. You get bounced out in the divisional 2 rounds in the 2 rounds in a row. And then I think what should call it, Lamar, he's getting injured off of the fact that he has to put himself out there every single Sunday to carry this team because they don't have no pieces around him for real.
Then you don't want to pay me?
Yeah, like
Lamar was more on, I need to do what's best for Lamar.
Yeah,
It is
exactly.
what it is.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with him doing what's best for him. I just feel like you have to be realistic too on what you're expecting. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think the expectation was put on him?
I
Because
think so.
Frankie said it the best.
I think so.
No, I'm talking about the money value. That's what I'm talking about.
But it was based off of what you're expecting. Like you want me to put the team on my back.
Yeah, like you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of there's this thing called and like another NBA thing, right? They're so interconnected, basketball and football. There's this thing in the NBA called heliocentric offenses. Right now, heliocentric offense is basically where you rely on one key star player, and then you don't put stars around him. You put role players and deep bench players around him, right? So
Milwaukee
for instance,
and Giannis.
Milwaukee, yeah, that's how they did it with Milwaukee at first, right? And now the thing is, it worked out for Milwaukee in a way because Chris Middleton started emerging. I mean, Chris Middleton's a little inconsistent, but he could give you a cool solid 25 points. And then Jrue Holiday, he's not the same Jrue Holiday when he was on the Pelicans and stuff like that. And he was giving like 30 a night, or at least a cool 25 to 30, but still he's a reliable point guard. So they did it right. But if you look at a heliocentric offense like Luka and the Mavs, right? Freaking Luka's putting the team on his back every single night. Now, granted, this is before the Kyrie trade, but I'm just saying, like, it's not the fact that like Luka didn't have no reliable role players, but I'm just saying Luka was solo squatting the 1 seed in the Suns, and then he went the same round after and faced the soon to be championship Warriors, and lost in 5. So I mean, I'm like, yo, but it's the fact that a 22, 23-year-old did that all by himself. You see what I'm saying? And they put all that on him because they think that they could win with just that one player, and you can't. And I feel like that's what happened with the Ravens. They saw MVP Lamar. They was like, oh, his impact is so crazy. He could throw the ball like crazy. He put up 36 total touchdowns, I want to say. And then after that, 36 passing touchdowns, but I think it was like 40 plus total touchdowns. We have 3,000 cumulative yards off of just the run game alone from his impact on the run game. And then, he could pass it down to the Titans where they got comfortable. And that's what happened. They just stopped after it's like post 2018. No, I want to say it was 2019. Matter of fact, post 2019, they just stopped. And that's what happened. And literally, so now we're seeing a heliocentric offense like in the NFL, that's not how you're going to win the NFL. Heliocentric offenses do not win in the NFL because they're trying to, and it's not very much often that you see a heliocentric offense in NFL because you have 22 starters, 11 on defense, 11 on offense. But when you can clearly see that the usage rate is high based off of one player and that they're giving a whole lot more impact to the team, then you're going to see, hey, something's wrong. Like, look at Deshaun Watson's last year as a Texan, bro. I think his usage rate was, I think he accounted for 87% of the offense. That is a heliocentric. Your quarterback is accounting for 87% of your offense. He's not even he's a main part. I'd say he's 1/4 of the offense, but you still got the running back, the wide receiver, and the O-line. You tell me he's accounting for all of them too? Bro, come on. Like it's either you surround him with pieces or Lamar bounce, because literally the Ravens like they don't know what they're doing, and I feel like it's a waste of time at this point, like come on, bro.
Well,
That's what it's looking like.
we move on with this heliocentric shit that he just put us on us with the Rain Man coming out.
No. When facts is being spoken.
No, he's good with it. I mean, shit. What's the next thing, Bree?
All right, so the Saints invited quarterback Derek Carr for a visit, and the Raiders have granted permission for that to happen.
For the second
They
time.
visit today. Yep, today. Carr, who has a no trade clause, is doing due diligence, and no trade is imminent. Now, that was yesterday. Now, as of a couple of hours ago, the Saints and Raiders already have the framework of a Derek Carr trade in place, a condition for Las Vegas to let the visit happen, but Carr's no trade clause means he's in control of whether any trade happens before 4 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday.
I think it's a good look for him. They got a good defense over there.
Up and coming on offense too.
They
Young
got
players.
they got some good wide receivers. They got 2 good wide receivers between Thomas and Olave. They have Taysom Hill, the Army knife in football. They have our boy
Kamara,
AK in the backfield. And with good coaching, we could see what he could do. Maybe in that division's wide open now with the fact that Brady retired. We don't know what's gonna happen with the Bucks. Hey, good luck, Derek. We'll see what happens next week. We'll have something to talk about besides who wins the Super Bowl next week if he makes some moves.
Also, shout out. Go ahead, Nikki.
I can only hope so, because sometimes I feel like Derek Carr is the enemy of Derek Carr. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully, because he's very inconsistent for me. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe they plug and play, and the coaches work with and on him, and then maybe it'd be a good fit. But he was very inconsistent with the Raiders with me. So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, shoot.
All
I
right,
think.
And now it's Super Bowl predictions.
Yes, sir.
So before we get into the predictions, I wanted to ask a question, right? And maybe it's just me. I don't know if I'm biased because I don't want to. I've been preaching the conspiracy that they wanted the Chiefs to be in the Super Bowl, either Chiefs or Bills, and they were going to do whatever it took to get there. I feel, and so questions have come up. People try to say, "Oh, Mahomes going to be ready with a high ankle sprain that takes 6 weeks to heal," and he probably messed it up even more in the Bengals game. But with 2 weeks off and a lot of holy water, he's going to be fine. But they try to say that Jalen wasn't the same quarterback after his injury in the last 2 games of the season when he came back, or when in the playoffs he wasn't throwing the ball as much. This, then a third. How you have the number 2 defense, but now the number 1 defense because the 49ers are not there. You have arguably the number 1 offense, the best offensive line, the more talent on one side, but you say they're only 1.5 point favorites. I feel like they're trying to find every excuse to bring down Jalen and elevate Mahomes, right? And I say this, and I'm putting this out here now with less than 40 hours to go. Don't be surprised if you see bullshit calls come out by the refs.
So
Shoot.
I feel there's an agenda the NFL trying to push, right? And the agenda is to get the Chiefs to win, get Mahomes to have his 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, in less than 5 years, 27 years old, and push the narrative. I guess my question would be to June mostly because he is the fan, and maybe I'll throw it out to Nikki. Do you feel that there is that level of disrespect there against the Eagles going into the Super Bowl? And do you think that they're trying to push a narrative to make the Chiefs look better?
100%. And it's gonna sound biased as hell, but I'm gonna just speak my mind. And sometimes I said something earlier this year, and I was just playing around with you guys when I said you guys are the ESPN of of the Eagles, right? But if you really think about it, this is exactly where I was coming from, right? The Eagles don't get that, damn, the Philadelphia Eagles are this, Philadelphia Eagles are that, and it's cool, you know what I mean? Because it's been like that, right? That's why my post said we're the underdogs, but it's always been like that with Philly.
I'm going after both of yeah, because I already know what I want to say.
And the thing with Philly is, right, the only thing that they say about Philadelphia, it ain't about Jalen, it ain't about Howie, it ain't about Sirianni, it's about the fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
They never say great this, great that. It's always about the fans, right? But when you're talking Philly, they do push the narrative 180 right back to Andy Reid, right? And then they finish off with Andy Reid with being in Kansas City. Then they go into Mahomes, right? And then you just forget about Philly, which is okay, trust me. And we like it like that, right? Because it just is what it is. Honestly, I can't wait. I haven't talked shit at all because I do believe in jinxing and shit like that. But enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mahomes, my dude, you're good. You my dude, you're good. But I pray to God that Reddick comes in there and he does his thing. Not just Reddick, but Fletcher Cox. Not just Fletcher Cox, but
Mm-hmm.
Sue. Not just Sue, but Hargrave.
Don't check
You know
out
what I'm
Graham
saying?
too? Brandon Graham?
Mhm.
Brandon
I cannot
Graham.
talk.
You know what I'm saying? I was
We're
just gonna
not
go on
Reddick?
and on and on. But
Hassan Reddick?
no, yeah, Hassan Reddick. But biggest signing of the offseason, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. I think they're pushing the narrative to get into Mahomes. To answer your question, Frank.
My
I mean,
turn.
they've been putting nothing but stats of what Mahomes would be
Oh yeah.
if he wins
Oh yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
it
Oh
hasn't
my
been
God.
like, yeah, Jalen will win and he's great in his third year.
Yo,
It's been what Mahomes will do to his legacy and to
I
NFL
cannot.
history.
Well, I got a
Yeah,
question.
but they won't talk about. Oh,
No,
Go
after
ahead.
Nikki goes, because I really wanted us to focus on the Super Bowl, what was going to take to win. That Lamar piece took us forever, but I do have a question. I want Nikki to follow up because then I have a question for Frankie and you, Bree.
All
But
right.
go ahead, Nikki.
All right. So I'm gonna say this. All right. First of all, when the two teams were set off grip, I was like, oh, easy day. Eagles are gonna win. But it's not so cut and clear. The reason why I say that is this, right? We as people always go back in the bank. We go back to the files. Hey, what is this? What is that? And unfortunately / fortunately, you have a resume. You have a no, not resume. You have old employers verification, right? You can say, hey, the Chiefs can do this, the Chiefs can do that. This is the first year you see this Eagle team do it. You get what I'm saying? So it's easy to be like, well, the Eagles in this, and I mean the Chiefs in this, and the Chiefs in this, because you have stuff to show. You don't have that to show of this Eagles team. You get what I'm saying? So I understand why people say it. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people did write the Chiefs off when Tyreek left. But since then, it seemed like the Chiefs have not lost their beat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Patrick has found other ways to stay competitive. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying dismiss the Eagles, but because of that, you can't all the way dismiss the Chiefs. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're going, oh, the Eagles, they're well-rounded. They are. I 1,000%. I told you, when the two teams were set, I'm like, Eagles is going to murder the Chiefs. But then you got to go back like, damn. I don't think it's going to be so cut and dry. The only thing I can agree with you is this. Don't dismiss. Honestly, in this game, I see no underdog. There's no clear underdog to me. I think both two teams are coming to play a real game.
Mhm.
So there's no under. The Eagles are not the underdog, and neither is the Chiefs. Now, I do agree that they're going to be questionable calls, but let me be honest. These refs have been questionable calls the whole
All
Wait,
season.
All
Nikki,
season. Shit.
The
Nikki.
whole season, right? So that is to be expected, regardless of what team was going to play. That should have been expected from these refs. I just think that the reason why the Chiefs have the upper, or where you think people are talking about them, is because in the last 3 years, the four years they've been in this position, the Eagles haven't. So you have something to go back to, and it is what it is. Until you can prove, it is what it is. Eagles won on a backup quarterback. They're the Super Bowl that they won.
Yeah.
Nick Foles, God knows where is he right now.
I think he's on the shoot.
Yeah, but
He's on
Oh, he's on the
Colts.
Colts. He's on the
I
Colts.
was
Yeah.
gonna say, I was gonna say that, but they beat a team that's been to the Super Bowl many of times with experience. So I wouldn't use that as an excuse.
Wait.
No, it's no excuse. It's the reason why people talk so much about the Chiefs is because they've been here year after year. So when you when you're playing a team that hasn't, the only thing you could go back is the success of the team that has. I mean, this is not football. This is life. It's life.
Wait.
Everybody does it.
I like to say something, right? Because I like to say, I'm gonna say this real quick for the people that listen to this, because I remember June said it's gonna sound biased. I'm a Patriots fan, so this is my clear, unbiased opinion, right? I truly think I agree with June by saying that they're pushing the narrative more of a Chiefs narrative rather than an Eagles narrative, and I also agree with Nikki as to why. That's one of the points. But then also they're gonna find a way to give the Chiefs a benefit of the doubt, because they just came out with a report actually not too long ago saying that the team came under the weather. They're sick. Patrick Mahomes, not only on top of his ankle, he's caught a slight illness. I forgot who else. Another person on the team has caught a slight illness. It was a report that came out. I'll send it into, since my dad sent to y'all, but that's one thing. And then another thing is they talk about, I like how June also said that they're just talking about the legacy of Mahomes and his stats and everything in comparison to somebody like Jalen, which is true. I think it was Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report's Gridiron page, right? That's their football page. They just put out, is Mahomes a Hall of Fame? No, what's it called? First ballot Hall of Famer if he retires right now. And then it's crazy. They took his stats, right? And they compared it to people like Jim Kelly, Joe Namath, and I forgot who the other person was. But no, and Troy Aikman. Bro, if you look at these careers, first off, if you know like NFL history, that's kind of like, it's a good comparison, but also a bad one too. Because Jim Kelly, first off, he went to the USFL. Because he said, bro, I'm not playing for the Bills. He literally said, I'm not playing for the Bills, and the reason why he played for the Bills was because the USFL shut down in 1985, and the Bills still owned his NFL draft rights. If you look at Aikman was a game man. He's a glorified game manager. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Aikman, he's one of the best to do it, but looking from the standards now, he's a glorified game manager. If you look at the retrospect of his career, Troy Aikman is nothing but a glorified game manager who benefited off of the system that the Cowboys had in the 90s. A great O-line and a well-rounded team overall, right? Because he was injury prone. Granted, he was accurate, but he's not durable, nor was he in a way reliable, because he's always out with a concussion, and he retired early because of concussions. I think he retired. He didn't even have 15 years in, and at the time, I'm not saying that you couldn't have a 15, that was the average, but I'm saying there was a chance, if you were a good quarterback at the time, you were putting in 15 years. Marino had 16, 17 years, before Brady, Roethlisberger, Manning, they were there. People forget that there have been long tenure careers before the updated technology. That's always been a thing, right? So and so I'm saying the whole point is, and then Joe Namath is the definition of glorified game manager, because I think he either has a 50% touchdown to interception ratio, or I think he has an inefficient touchdown to touchdown to interception ratio, because I think he's thrown more picks than he has scores. So like it's the justification of the Chiefs. I feel like the narrative is more Chiefs driven, but granted, I also agree with what Nikki said because of the fact how they're trying to, like, they've been here before, so we're going to talk about the people who are building a legacy. Other than that, though, I agree with both points between June and Nikki because, bro, they're talking more, they're gonna give the justification to the Chiefs. But however, I see why. But at the same time, let's talk about the Eagles too. They deserve to be here, and I get what you call it. They're also trying to the Eagles. Not the Eagles, the Chiefs. They lost Tyreek Hill. They have a worse O line than the first time they got to the Super Bowl. All right, yeah, what you call it. So they have been looking like an underdogs for the season. People thought they were gonna underperform, but however, now that we see them for who they were, we shouldn't also act like, oh, this wasn't this was unexpected. Like, nah, this was supposed to happen. If they're as great as we think they are, this was supposed to happen. Then let's give credit to the Eagles for being here in the first place and kind of give it the equal shine because this was supposed to happen by the Chiefs.
So,
yep. And sorry, go ahead, Frank.
Oh no, go ahead, Bree. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and they talking about all this accomplishments for the Chiefs. Why are we not hearing that Devontae Smith could be the fourth player in NFL history to win the Heisman Trophy, the National College Championship, and a Super Bowl? But nobody's talking about that, huh?
They don't want you to know that. They don't want to know that. They don't want to push that narrative. Listen,
but they're gonna push it unless they win.
That is amazing.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
Hold on. The last time that was done was by Charles Woodson in 1997.
Okay, so put a pin on that. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts, who was doing great at Alabama, got sat down for tour, leaves Alabama, goes to Oklahoma,
balls out,
does his thing, come in the league,
sits behind Carson Wentz,
and sits behind Carson Wentz, and
has doubts.
Now he's here in the Super Bowl. He didn't. I guess my question to you, Bree, because I can go on for days about how I feel they're being disrespectful. And I think just people they like the new shiny toy, right? This new shiny toy is Mahomes, and Mahomes is doing all this other stuff. And people don't realize, like, the same way we're talking about how Jalen, they did a good team to build around him. Mahomes got drafted to a great team already with arguably one of the greatest coaches in the NFL right now, and Andy Reid, And all he had to do was survive his time and take over. You know what I'm saying? So let's be clear.
Don't forget who he was sitting behind.
Yeah, Alex Smith. Exactly. That who just couldn't get the ball downfield. That was his
my man.
They had Tyreek Hill, they had Kareem Hunt, they had Travis Kelce. They had all these pieces there. It wasn't like he got there, had to struggle and they had to build. No, he walked into a great situation. Let's just be clear. I think
and Kareem Hunt too.
And I think at a time where a lot of the powerhouses in the AFC were coming to turn around, i.e., Pittsburgh wasn't the same Pittsburgh. Patriots wasn't the same Patriots. Colts definitely weren't the same Colts. Manning was on the way out, so the Broncos was done. The Chargers, Phillip Rivers, he was never that guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just great opportunity, timing. I guess my question to you, Bree, though, going into the Super Bowl, who has more to gain, Mahomes or Jalen?
Mahomes. I think only because of the way how they push in there.
That's a good one.
Who has the what? What was the question, Frank?
Who has more to gain?
Jalen.
Wait. Actually, to put it this way, who has the most to gain? But then if they don't reach the expectation, then would it because
more to gain? Because
think about it.
So Nikki said Jalen. June, who you say?
I don't know.
Well, the only reason I'm gonna say who has more to lose will be Jalen, depending on how he loses. If he were to lose.
Yeah.
Because he can still be successful and the game ends by 3, and he still gains. Yeah. But he could lose and have a horrible game, and then just like that.
So we got
Jalen is what we thought he was. That's Frank, what the narrative is going to be.
Who I got?
Yeah.
You spend it the same way. Spending it. You just said it different.
Yeah.
I say I got Mahomes because I feel like the person who has the most to gain also has the most to lose. So looking at it from that standpoint, I say that Mahomes has it only for the reason why is because people are gonna start because if they're holding him such to a standard, and then they're gonna be like, oh, well, Mahomes lost. Now you're gonna have the chief apologist, but at the same time, if you're really looking at it, yo, they're gonna be like, okay, wait, so what's it called? But like, I think down the line for legacy wise, they're gonna be like, oh, look at Mahomes, he didn't win against Jalen Hurts, and then the Eagles and stuff like that, and because like, if this is, I think he has more to lose in the long run rather than in the short term.
So
Long run,
I do too. I do think Mahomes has more to lose because of how high of a pedestal they're putting him on.
exactly.
And how much, like, it's wild. Like, it's crazy. If you watch Good Morning Football, if you've been listening to Undisputed, right? And June, I think you would like today's episode of Undisputed because Skip shut Shannon up when it came to Jalen versus Mahomes, and it was good. Like, and he was like, and this is coming from a Cowboys fan. So it was actually good. I do think that Mahomes do have more to lose because of how high they're putting him on this pedestal about, which is disrespectful to the Eagles, you know, because just like, there's, like he said, there's no press coverage of Philadelphia. No one's talking about Philadelphia. Everything is about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, right? But they're also forgetting Patrick Mahomes still has a high ankle sprain, right? All he needs is that one good sack. Boom, they're done. The Eagles, first team in NFL history with 4 people on their defense with 10 plus sacks, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
One of those 4 could easily sack him, you know?
Yeah.
They're forgetting that. But I also think it's just like, if Mahomes win, it's going to be like, we knew he can do it. He's the best. He didn't need Tyreek Hill.
The narrative is going to be crazy.
And then, but if the Eagles win, it could be like, F all you guys. You guys didn't believe in us. You guys counted us out. You guys were riding Mahomes' coattail 24/7 from the day of the AFC Championship game till now, and we shut all y'all up. Like, I do think Patrick Mahomes has more to lose because of the fact that they're putting him on such this high pedestal, and I want to see him lose because of that reason.
Before I go, I'm gonna let Nikki go because she's Frankie. Can you get that food?
I know she's like going crazy over there.
Go ahead.
Okay. I want everyone to listen to what we've said, what you said all night. All right. I don't understand why anybody would think if Patrick loses, he has to lose. First of all, the reason why that cannot be true is this. Everybody said the Eagles is a well-rounded team. So if the Eagles win, it's going to be like, oh yeah, they're more well-rounded. It's okay. If Patrick loses, Patrick lost last year. He didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but they still have him on this high pedestal. You got to understand things. He won MVP. His stats are still increasing.
No, you hit it right in the money, Nikki.
Huh?
No, you hit it right in the money.
Yeah, if the Eagles loses, it's going to be like, bro, for 10 games, they were undefeated. They were this. They was that. They was this. They're more rounded. They have AJ Brown. They have this. They have the best defense. They have this. And you lose, you have more to lose. Regardless of what happens to Patrick Mahomes in this game, you will not kill his legacy. You want to know why? Because for 4 years, he's made it to the big. He's gotten as close as he can to the big game. He won MVP.
I want to go next. I want to go next.
And then listen to this. As you say,
I love it.
The Eagles, they have 4 people that record with stats, and then you lose. You have more to lose all the way around.
Here's what I'm gonna say, and I think it's Mahomes that has more to gain and lose in this game, and I'm gonna tell you why. You can say that. People say he's a Hall of Famer right now.
He is.
People say this. People say that. If he loses now, if he loses on Sunday, now he looks like LeBron James.
Yo,
go to the finals. Gonna win.
Yeah.
Now you go 1 and 3. You go 1 and 2, right? You went 3 times to the Super Bowl, and you only won 1.
Wait.
Twice.
My God.
And you've been to the NFC Championship out of your 5 years in the league. What, 5 times? All 5 times, 4. And you've been 5 times. And you only been 3 times because Brady beat you once at home, and then the Bengals took you out. Jalen Hurts losing on Sunday. Let's say Jalen Hurts has a dud. Oh, but this is his 3rd year. last
He
year.
still had a
Lies.
great season,
Good.
and it was his first season that they took a chance
So
on
you're
him.
looking at it.
Lies.
No, listen.
That's not a lie. These
It's
are
No, wait.
stats, Nikki.
It's the truth.
Now-
It's the stats. So
The problem.
so
This
the
is where I'm
hold on.
confused.
Listen, because you have a point. He's going to the Hall of Fame regardless.
No.
That he's cemented to go. Yes, and I agree with you. But when it comes down to the greatest of all times, when you cannot go, when you have a losing record in the Super Bowl, you got to miss me with the fact that you're the greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time was in the league 21 years.
23.
Good.
Let's get it right. 23.
Very good.
And
23 years.
hold on.
He was around.
Listen to me.
Bro.
Because I let you talk. Listen. But you know what? And you know how much disrespectful it is that Tom Brady in 4 years had 3 Super Bowls, went back to back, and they still say that Mahomes is better than him because he has 2 NFL MVPs.
I got something to
talk
say.
about it.
Wait.
Frank, my question to you, I'm not going to argue after this. My question to you is this. If he's already been done that, and this is where I'm confused. This is why
No.
Can't be confused.
Nikki.
It's
I
a conversation.
I am. Because the accolades that you're saying that he has, it's with the loss against the Bengals. It's with the loss against the Bucks. And he still has the title. They
But
still
that's
like he's
what
great.
Wait.
So when it comes down to the major conversations, right? When we come down to these conversations of, oh, is it great or not? You can throw the accolades of being to 3 Super Bowls in a matter of 5 years, but then I could say, well, he's been to 3, only won 1. And if Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts wins this one on Sunday, what is the difference between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes?
Nah,
They won. What's the difference between Jalen Hurts and Russell Wilson? They both have
MVP
one.
twice, and Jalen finally made it to a big game. That's what the difference is going to be.
He could be the next Peyton Manning. All these great stats, but you can't win the big game.
I got something to say. Wait.
Hold up, Bree. Go ahead, Bree.
No, let Frankie go.
Okay.
ahead.
No. Because what I see, I can see both sides, right? And I'm gonna try to explain it the best. From Nikki, I think it's more so the fact that because when I heard what you said, the points that you were making, I think it's more so that the Eagles as a whole has more to lose. I think, and I agree. I agree with Nikki. The Eagles as a whole have more to lose. So what's it called? And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing I'm trying to separate right now. So what's it called? I think on the individual standpoint, I think Mahomes has more to lose, but as a whole team standpoint, I think the Eagles have way more to lose. And I think that impact as a whole, I can see where she feels as if that impact of them losing more it outweighs Mahomes' individual loss. But my thing is, I agree with you, Dad, what you said, because if Mahomes loses right now, right, they're going to look at it like LeBron. But if LeBron and the Heat didn't win 2 and he only won 1, because remember that, look at how they talk about LeBron. If you talk about LeBron and Jordan, right, now they're trying to say LeBron is the best right now because of his longevity stats, but basketball is a whole different conversation, right? But if we're going to look at it based on how we compare in the NFL quarterbacks, right, well, look at, all right, so now we have, what's it called? Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. They're trying to get Tom Brady with the recency bias of Patrick Mahomes, right? And now, but look at it. If Mahomes goes 1-2 in the big game after already getting to the AFC Championship, 4 or 5 years in a row, they're gonna think it's literally gonna be the LeBron narrative. But however, if LeBron lost in Dallas, right? Because that's what they always bring up, his 2011 loss to the Dallas Mavericks, and Dirk Nowitzki. Right, but then after that, okay, he beats the Baby Thunder. But then now, let's say he loses again. But let's say what's it called? He lost against the Spurs. Like Ray Allen misses the clutch shot. They lose against the Spurs, and then they lost against the 2014 Spurs, which is arguably one of the greatest teams ever in basketball. Right?
You know how happy I was,
bro,
about that because Ray Allen left Boston. It's karma.
Like, I already know. So that's what I'm saying. You feel me? So when I think of Mahomes as like the LeBron of the NFL, what's it called? Great stats and all that. But then what's it called? When you look at he's the king. He's the golden child. But like if you look at it like that, he's always going to put up great stats. But then what is it? And he's even going to have the great efficiency numbers because they always talk about LeBron like, oh, LeBron's numbers in the playoffs, it's efficient and everything. But does it equate to winning? And that's the whole point. And now the NBA, I think the current NBA culture, like modern generation NBA culture, they're saying that stats matter more than wins because they be like, oh, but it doesn't matter. His stats are so crazy.
Oh,
Like they don't
Bring
exactly. But that's what I'm
Look,
saying.
Look, Peyton got 5 NFL MVPs and only 2 Super Bowl wins and been to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers has 4 NFL MVPs with 1 ring and only been to 1 Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Let's just be clear. I'm not disagreeing with what Nikki's saying because you have to say this. They crowned him a Hall of Famer off 1 Super Bowl. Of 1 Super Bowl and 1 NFL MVP. The disrespect for the other people that came before him and had to put the work. My issue is, here's me, what Frank likes to see, right? If I was a Hall of Fame voter, this is what I'm looking at. You made it to 5 Super Bowls, my man, but you only won 1. Yo, you basura because you didn't win more than 1. You could have got there. Look, the Bills went 4 years in a row. 4. It couldn't win 1.
Yeah, but Frank, I hear you. I think, but certain people will say, "Oh, you went, you only went, but you were there every year." Unfortunately, certain people start looking in the military. When we're doing apples, when we're comparing one person to one, we start looking for little things to set them apart. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not to say the person that didn't win ain't good, but we gotta find a deal breaker. And unfortunately, because he's been there so many times, they're going to use that as the reason why we talked about this in nauseam, like you would say, against him and Joe Burrows was the same thing. Oh, if Joe Burrow beats him and Joe Burrow beats him, but the problem was it was always him he had to beat. So it's the same thing with the Eagles. I honestly feel like because they're the more rounded team, you get what I'm saying? Unfortunately, it doesn't matter if Patrick wins it or not. If he wins it, it's good on him. It will just add on to stat. If he loses it, we'll find another thing to keep him up there. He made it there.
I'll say this before we go to the predictions.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
Wilson wins this game on Sunday. If the Chiefs pull out a win against the best defense playing, against the best offense with the best team, not only did he cement his game, his name is cemented. He could throw a straight dud the rest of that. It's like Goliath got slayed. You know what I'm saying? Like you sit there and you look at it right now. If Patrick Mahomes if Andy Reid, because let's look at it, they only really have Kelsey, Mahomes.
Yeah, that's the point, Frank.
And who's the other guy? What the other guy on defense?
Pacheco. Oh no, Pacheco's
Chris Jones. They got Chris Jones.
Chris Jones is one more guy on defense they mentioned, and Andy Reid. That's 5 people. That's 5 people. On the Eagles side, you have Kelsey, Lane Johnson, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Sanders, Jalen.
Why would you say the biggest deal would be on the Chiefs if the Eagles have all of that and they lose?
Because I told you why. In my opinion, right? In Frank's opinion, if the Chiefs lose and now Patrick Mahomes has been to 3 Super Bowl, only has 1 win, it knocks at his ability to come out and win. And then people start looking at how they won the other one. So we got to put in perspective what really goes down, right? Because the same way we can point out with the Bengals how they should have went for a short pass on 3rd and 3 instead of a deep pass to keep the drive going, which is what we talked about last week.
1,000.
Yeah. So now let's look at the 49ers against the Chiefs. The 49ers.
That's what I was going to say. Skip Bayless, he covered it. He was like, the only reason why the Chiefs won the 2020 Super Bowl was because of Jimmy G. I like to call him Jimmy Gag because he gagged in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. He had an opportunity. He missed. He overthrew. He was the weakest link.
He said.
Like you said, Nikki, he was the weakest link in the Super Bowl that game. And
it's all coming back.
He couldn't finish the deal. So and if you look at Patrick Mahomes' numbers in the Super Bowl, his numbers are horrible. He had only 1 quarter that was great, and it was only 10 minutes or 5 minutes of good game. He hasn't been that great, but we get so wrapped up because the what's that saying? The shit goes to the winner. The spoils goes to the winner. So they win. Oh my God, Andy Reid, smart. People forget that Andy Reid went to 4 NFC championships and lost, and only went to 1 Super Bowl and lost. Like until he won his first Super Bowl, Andy Reid was the head coach with the most wins without a Super Bowl victory. And now all of a sudden, he's the greatest head coach in NFL history. Fuck out of here. Look, shit happens. And a clock is right twice a day, right? But I say when it comes to the stats of mattering, correct? Yes, he's already a Hall of Famer because that's what they want to see. That's what they want. In my opinion, yeah, you can say what he did in the short. If he died tomorrow, throw him in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because what he did in 5 years was great. But we haven't seen his career out the whole time. We haven't seen injury play. Injury play right now, he's not the same person. But it's funny how his high ankle sprain isn't a problem, but Jalen Hurts' shoulder, who he missed 2 weeks.
That's all they talk about.
It's all they talk about. He can't throw the ball. But they never think about the fact that when they ran the ball against the number 1 rushing defense, the number 1 overall defense, and put up 4 touchdowns rushing on them, they didn't have to throw the ball. They didn't have to throw the ball against the Giants. But yeah, we're quick to throw out Jalen Hurts, but we're not going to talk. Look, do you know the Chiefs?
Patrick Mahomes could play on one leg.
Yeah, you know that they did not even mention that the Chiefs did not even list one player injured on the injury report.
Nope, all of them are clear.
There's
not one person in the injury report.
Come on. If you're gonna blow smoke on my ass and fuck me, please at least buy me dinner and give me the cheek. Because what you're lying, bro. You're a high ankle sprain kept Mac Jones out for more than 2 weeks, more than 3 weeks. This guy is not 100%, but we're not gonna talk about that. Anyways, go ahead, Nikki. I know you got something to say before we go on our predictions. I'm sorry. I just feel
I've said what I had to say. Like I mean, see, I just keep it consistent. And my consistent is this. You can't when I sit and I'm listening, you can't be like, oh, the Chiefs have this, but the Eagles have this, and say that if they lose, it's not a big dud on them. I think the narrative has to be if the Chiefs, and this is what's going to be, if the Chiefs lose, the Eagles were the more rounded team. It is what it is. So it's not as a big dud. It would be a bigger dud if the Chiefs win with all the stuff the Eagle have. It is what it is.
It's how you it.
It's both.
It is. So
it's gonna be
I'm
both.
not saying that it's fair, but it is what it is.
No, because
and on top, I don't feel like that loss would knock Patrick Mahomes as much as people might want to see. Like
not as much, but it's gonna knock him down. Like,
it brings up the conversation. It brings up the conversation, and that's why I said what I said.
Can you consistently win us a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
No, the question would be
1 in 3. You have a 33% chance of winning the Super Bowl. But
Frank,
Frank
said it. Look, the narrative has been painted so good with the Chiefs that either way, the narrative is gonna fall on the Chiefs. It ain't got shit to do with the Eagles.
Thank you.
The narrative has been painted so good with the Chiefs.
Thank you.
That if they win, Mahomes. If they don't, this is the excuse. I mean,
right.
No, let me tell you something, and I'm gonna say this before we go into the picks.
I'm done. I ain't gonna say
I said Eagles last week. I've said Eagles before that, and watching some of these takes, I damn near said the Chiefs.
No, you have to. I started with that.
Not a chance, but
I started with that. I started with that. Like once the teams were set, I'm not. Oh, the Eagles is gonna. And as the week gone, I was like, wait, hold on. You can't just knock out the Chiefs.
But I'm gonna tell you this: I'm going Eagles. Who's next?
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I already made the chart on my phone, so I'll start first, right? I'm gonna say how many points total, the score, and who I think won. So that's how we're gonna do it for the Super Bowl since it's only one game. So I'm gonna go first. Right, I wrote mine down. I think it's gonna be a total of 60 points, and the score is gonna be 33-27 Eagles. All right, so June is next.
All right, so hold on. Say one more time how you gonna do it.
So I think the total points is 60, and then my score is 33-27 Eagles.
I'm gonna go with hey, I'm going to go all in with my squad. I've been going with them all season. I think Jalen's arm is going to be the best it's ever been. The Eagles are going to are there to prove a point. I got the Eagles fucking winning 38-17. And the 17 points will be scored in the last 2 minutes. The shit don't count.
Okay, Frankie.
I got the Eagles. Great team. And as for the score that I think is gonna be, uh, shoot, a realistic one, I could either see this being, I don't know, maybe 24-27 or 35-38. Because both are capable of high scoring. So at the minimum, 24-27 Eagles or 35-38 Eagles.
Before Frank goes, Frank, when the Bucks played the Chiefs, what caused the Chiefs to lose?
Oh,
What was the main domination?
the defense ate up the offensive line. They couldn't protect. She was scrambling.
Yeah,
And
three of
what was the
offensive
final score,
linemen
bro?
were out.
Say what now, June?
But what was their final score? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
It was like 31-9 or something
It
like
was a
that.
blowout. He didn't
9, yeah.
score a touchdown. They got 3 field goals. Yeah, 31-9. Yeah.
All right, Nikki.
Oh, I think the Eagles gonna win. I don't give a fuck about the total, and I really don't care about the thingy. I think it's gonna be a close game. But June, to go back to what you said about your question, they had 3 linemen out. They don't have that this time. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think the Eagles will come out on top.
What score do you have? If you could guess a score.
Oh, I don't. I'm not.
That's not her thing. You know that's not her thing. That's not gonna be her thing at all.
She could easily say 3-0. Like,
Yeah, no.
okay,
No,
Frank.
I think it's gonna be close.
I think it's Eagles, and I don't think it's gonna be close at all. I think the Chiefs, Spagnola's gonna pressure. He's gonna take the run game and try, because they think that Jalen's shoulders hurt. They're gonna go to it. But I don't think they could. They got young rookie corners out there, and I don't think they can stop AJ Brown and Devontae Smith or anybody else you throw out there. So I say June 38-17.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go 42-7.
Wow.
Now the winner, whoever's team won, we all picked the Eagles. So whether the Eagles win or lose, whoever's score was the closest score, I'm gonna PayPal them $50. So
You said $350?
no, 50.
$50.
Oh, I was about to say, let's go back.
Wait. So does that mean I have to choose like an actual score? Because I chose 2, like a minimum, and I chose a maximum.
One,
Well,
dirtbag.
I put your
Don't feel-
38-35.
All right, bet, yeah.
Yeah. So
Because that's
Right,
more
and that's
realistic.
All right. Well, listen. Less than 40 hours to go. We're gonna see a Super Bowl. Hopefully, it's a great one. It's another pleasure being here. I don't. Are we? Well, anyway, we'll be next week to recap the Super Bowl and go from there. Frankie, your go.
Me, like, do I have anything to say?
Yeah, like your parting word.
Closing remarks.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Nah, my bad. I'm excited to see the Super Bowl, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Regardless, whoever wins or lose, I think, to be honest, reflecting over the whole season, it's been just a crazy season. So, and depending on who wins this year, I feel like after this season, it's not even just the Super Bowl. I think the season itself, it's gonna play a big part in what we see next year, like the product on the field, because this season it was basically up in the air. Whoever, like, I think the Eagles are the most well-rounded team, but really the whole like season was up in the air. There were so many teams and just so many different things. So like variables playing into it where I'm like, yo, anybody could have won. But I think the Eagles are the clear-cut winners though. And I hope they do win, because even though it's so cool, when I think about the Super Bowl, I think about the Eagles, I'm like, damn, 52, because that's all people talk about. They be like, Brady's best Super Bowl performance came in a loss. But I'm like, damn, I wish we got that back. But literally, I hope the Eagles go out there, and I hope they do win, because they deserve it. Most well-rounded team. The odds were against them. Shoot, even when they were the number 1 team in the league. Oh, the 49ers are a better, well-rounded team. Yeah, you can't be well-rounded if you don't got a quarterback. You can't be well-rounded if you don't got a quarterback. So, I hope the Eagles win, and, overall, it was a great season. It was a great season.
I'll go next.
Go ahead, Bree.
It's always a pleasure doing this with you guys every single weekend. And I think now what I'm going to do is total points. Closest total points wins $50. So my total points is 60. June's is 55. Frankie's is 73, and Frank's is 49. So I think that's a little bit more challenging. So, but it's always a pleasure doing this with you guys. Thanks for listening, and I will see you guys next week.
Nick,
go Eagles.
Go ahead, Nick. I'm gonna let June go last. Go ahead.
So y'all already know it's always a pleasure being able to come on here just to reflect and just have good conversation. I honestly we've been on here for definitely 2 hours, but I honestly enjoyed our conversation today. Like I felt like it was super productive. I think I don't know, I feel like this is one of the best conversations we've had in a long time. And maybe because I was like, I'm not gonna let nobody take me off my square. So that might be another reason why it was great. But I actually thought it was good. So hats off to y'all for making it enjoyable. Yeah, hats off to y'all making it enjoyable. And all season I wanted the Eagles to show something. You know what I'm saying? And they're in the game now where they can. You know what I mean? And I said the truth in what I believe. I don't really feel like any team is an underdog, but if someone wants to be, a team is going to be labeled the underdog, they're going to say the Eagles. And I always would cheer for the underdog. So I hope on Sunday they're able to pull out the win because they truly do deserve it. So yeah, go Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly. Oh, that shit hurt.
And make sure you recorded that, Frank.
No,
Yeah,
leave that part out.
just record it.
It almost sounds like the Cowboys old coach when he said it. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
That's all I
But
got.
June, how you
All right,
feel?
June, close it up, man. Finish it up.
Hey, I just want to say, this is the last podcast of the season. The last podcast of the season, and it comes down to to my squad being there, and it was a fun season. Like Frankie said, this season was really up in the air. I mean, hell, the Jaguars were a touchdown away from probably being in the big game. It would have been a Doug Peterson versus Sirianni Super Bowl, but hell of a season. It was always fun with you guys. In my opinion, the Eagles, whatever the outcome is, my boys did their thing. They already won in my eyes because they got to a platform where I think they proved a lot of doubters wrong, along with Jalen Hurts, super Jalen Hurts fan.
Exceeded expectations.
That's it right there. See, that's why you need to join the Navy and be a CO. My CO used to correct me. But yeah, man. Other than that, hey, let's get this W. Fly, Eagles fly on the road to victory.
Bye.